Good morning and welcome.
Dan Bickley.
Oh my God, he's from Chicago. That's amazing.
Vince Marotta.
Oh, why, Vinny? Who's better than Vinny?
And Jerry Carlin.
It can only be Jerry.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Bickley and Marotta mornings. Time to go to work. Time to go to work.
Shout out to Dan Bickley, my boy. Him and Vince. Okay.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday, Valley sports fans. Welcome to day 2 of Newsmakers Week. Got our fingers crossed, hoping for the best.
Let's make some news.
Okay.
Sure. Several newsworthy items that came out of yesterday's session.
Yes, the arena news, potential news, ASU.
Yeah.
Okay.
Diamondback stuff. Very good.
That was very convincing.
Diamondback stuff. Yeah, very good. Very convincing, Jarrett. I'm not buying it.
Jarrett, can we rewind to a moment in the show that Jarrett is known for? Do you remember when he injured himself eating?
Oh, I do remember that, yeah.
On the girthy baguette?
Famous, yeah.
Did you see the Dustin May story?
I did not.
The follow-up to it?
No.
Jarrett, you have professional athlete company in the injured by food category.
Really?
So it came out. Dustin May was in Arizona, I guess, rehabbing last year, getting ready to come back, went out to dinner with his wife, was eating a salad.
A salad?
And a piece of lettuce got stuck in his throat. He tried to wash it down with water. He said it didn't feel right. Didn't need to do anything. Didn't feel right after a while. His wife finally convinced him to go to the ER. Had emergency surgery that night.
Wow.
May said he underwent basically a full abdominal surgery to repair the tear in his esophagus and explained that doctors said he had lettuce lodged in his throat that led to a highly uncommon food impaction, which perforated his esophagus tube.
Wow.
From lettuce.
Another reason. Never eat salads.
I don't want to.
Eat at your own risk.
Dan was taken down by kale once. We know that.
It was.
Yeah, but that wasn't an injury. That was just
that was an abdominal problem of his own.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yes, it was. Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder what it was. What could have torn the lining of his throat?
A food impaction? I've never even heard of anything like that.
I don't know.
I understand you doing it on like a hard, crusty bread,
right.
kind of. I mean, you don't hear about it very often. People eat that all the time, but eating leafy vegetables?
The thing about Jarrett, and I'm guessing Dustin May falls in this category as well, is there are some people who have to eat ungodly amounts of food at once. The amount that you're trying to jam down your pie hole.
Yeah. Professional athletes do it, and Jarrett does it. Those are the two groups of people.
Right.
Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
Me and Dustin.
Well, and again, and for some people don't have a lot of time to eat, so it kind of breeds a lot of bad habits. But Dustin Mays, he's a baseball player. He should be enjoying a nice.
The human body is very unusual and very strange, and it does wild, wondrous things. So maybe just something as simple as he swallowed a piece of lettuce wrong. It just got lodged in a certain part of his throat.
Okay.
And
then what would tear the hole in his? What would scrape up his esophagus like that? If it's just a piece of lettuce.
I didn't know that was even possible.
Yeah, did I?
Crazy. It derailed his whole season. He never came back last year.
I'm not sure Jarrett's ever recovered from the girthy baguette. I'll be honest with you.
Not emotionally, at least I haven't.
He hasn't been this. Every time you bite into a sandwich, now you're like, is this going to hurt me?
That's a joke that you're making, but it's actually true. I have not recreated such a sandwich since because I've been fearful
that was very
of it.
traumatic.
Yes.
Yeah. There's absolutely nothing worse. When you talk about food injuries, there's nothing worse than taking a bite of pizza and having it scald the roof of your mouth. And then you know you are going to have a burnt mouth for a day and a half.
I'm a weirdo in that I don't like hot food.
Oh, you don't?
No. If it's piping hot, nope.
Yeah.
Like, I'll let soup sit for 20 minutes before I eat it.
Oh, boy. That's sacrilege. Jared almost he's fighting. He wants to fight you.
I'll let a cup of coffee sit for a few minutes till it cools down. I can't do it.
Wow.
I have a very sensitive palate.
I've
never been injured by lettuce.
So even something with, like, melty cheese that, like, you need to eat when it's hot, or else it gets like harder. You don't care about that stuff either.
Look, I'm waiting till it's ice cold. Like I just don't like what Bick said about the scalding hot pizza that we've all done before when you have to basically spit it out. There's nothing pleasurable about that for me.
All right, my quick food story. With the time that I almost thought I died from an eating incident. So I'm covering a Suns-Clippers playoff game. I'm in Los Angeles. It's about an hour and a half before tip-off. I go get myself a cup of vanilla frozen yogurt with caramel sauce. Oh, caramel sauce, Jared. And so I'm eating this delicious concoction of yogurt and caramel sauce, and then I swallowed something wrong, and I started to cough, and I could not catch my breath to save my life because that caramely stickiness and the ice cream constricted my throat. I could not catch a breath, and I literally thought I was going to fall over and die. And I thought, this is going to look really bad on the news.
Ugh.
Sports writer dude killed by frozen yogurt. Start the show, Ferret.
I have so many questions.
Yeah, I don't have any answers.
Splash. The stories making waves in the sports world. The Splash.
Cannonball coming.
The Splash. Brought to you by Presidential Pools, Arizona's #1 pool builder. See why at presidentialpools.com.
The only question I'll ask: once you caught your breath, did you finish the yogurt?
No, I was scared witless.
I could imagine that. Yeah. That is
TCB, why are you not breathing?
Yeah, exactly.
When the Phoenix Suns return home from their 4-game road trip to start the post-All-Star portion of their schedule, they will not be playing their home games in a building called Footprint Center. Crews removed the signage from the building on Monday, where that signage has been since the summer of 2021, when Footprint became the 5th different naming rights partner for the facility, which opened in 1992. First game as Footprint Center, Game 5 of the NBA Finals, by the way.
Isn't it weird the seemingly random times that these deals expire?
This is what's really odd to me. Is this really the timing of a contract? Could you not finish the season out?
I'm not sure how that works.
Well, like you said, the last one ended during a playoff run.
They played one game in Footprint Center that season. That was their last game of the year. Game 5 of the Finals.
Right.
The arena will be known as PHX Arena until a new naming partner is announced, which will be very soon. Elsewhere in the NBA, Lonnie Walker IV is back in the league. Can you tell it's kind of a shutdown week? Lonnie Walker IV is my second
That was the
item on the
second
splash.
story.
Signed a 2-year deal with the 76ers. He had been playing in the Euro League this season in Turkey. In baseball, Diamondbacks made the announcement of Heraldo Perdomo's new 4-year contract extension official. Perdomo, now 25, has been with the D-backs organization since he was 16 at the team's Dominican Republic Academy. Made his big league debut in 2021. Regular shortstop since 22. All-Star and National League champion in 23. Manager Torey Lovello said it'll also be right-hander Corbin Burns on the mound to start the Diamondbacks Cactus League opener Friday against the Rockies at Salt River Fields. Burns, of course, signed a 6-year, $210 million free agent deal with the D-backs this offseason. Elsewhere in camp, lefty Jordan Montgomery has been slowed by a strained left index finger. He'll be reevaluated today. Right-hander Dre Jamison, who missed all of last season after undergoing Tommy John surgery in 2023, back to facing live hitters and workouts. You can read more about all of that from Alex Weiner on ArizonaSports.com, presented by Y-Refi. College hoops, ASU's home struggles continue. They fell 80-65 to the 5th-ranked Houston Cougars at Desert Financial Arena. Houston led wire-to-wire, built a lead as big as 23 points on the night. They used a 22-11 run over the last 8.5 minutes of the first half to build a 16-point halftime lead. Cruised from there. L.J. Cryer had 18 for the Cougs. Emmanuel Sharp, 17. Alston Mason led ASU with 26. They've now lost 7 straight at home, 6 straight overall, 12-14, and 3-12 in Big 12 play.
Ouch.
That's not the 12 that you want highlighted.
No.
Devils back on the road for the next 2, starting Sunday in Manhattan to take on the Kansas State Wildcats. It is mock draft season. Daniel Jeremiah of NFL.com has his second version mock out this morning and has the Cardinals selecting Michigan defensive tackle Kenneth Grant with the 16th overall pick of the first round. If mock drafts are your thing, you can check out Tyler Drake's mock draft tracker on ArizonaSports.com, presented by Y-Refi. And elsewhere in the NFL, the Carolina Panthers bringing back veteran quarterback Andy Dalton on a 2-year deal worth a reported $8 million. Dalton replaced Bryce Young as the Panthers starter in Week 3. Started for 5 weeks before he got in a car accident, which opened the door for Young to step back into the starting lineup, and he started the last 10 games of the year. And kind of revitalized his career in Carolina.
Sure did.
Dalton, by the way, 7th among active NFL quarterbacks with 253 touchdown passes. There you go. There is your splash for Wednesday, February 19th. Coming up next, the Suns wanted to trade Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant didn't want to be traded. So Kevin Durant wasn't traded. Now what? We're waiting. We'll get into it next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on this Wednesday. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2.
It is incredible right now, honestly. I'm so happy for Heraldo Perdomo receiving this 4-year extension. This guy is one of my favorite Diamondbacks. He starts a lot of rallies. He gets on base in a lot of different ways. He's fundamentally solid with his glove. He's got a clutch gene in him as well. He's respected and loved in the clubhouse.
Perdomo's kind of the one that he just doesn't get as much hype, but he's such a key piece to what they're doing.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Hey, everybody, Dan Bickley here for Life Change Alone. And if you've got great credit, if you've got a credit score of 800 or better, congratulations. You should wear that like a badge of honor, and you should not finance your home the same way as somebody with average to poor credit would. And fortunately, you do have that option. On a Life Change Alone, you do your banking inside of your mortgage. You pay principal first. You get 24/7 access to your equity. You have the ability to pay off your house in years, not decades. It happens without changing a dime of your spending habits. And when you pay off your house in years, not decades, you get a lot of time to build personal wealth. That is how you get ahead. The 24/7 access to your equity, that's pretty remarkable as well. Gives you great liquidity, gives you the power to borrow back from yourself if you have any needs, like college tuition or home improvement needs. You literally borrow the money from yourself. A lot of great things with the Life Change Alone. A lot of incredibly grateful clients in the Valley. You've got to have the right financials. There are caveats. This is not for everybody, but I'll tell you this. If you are a good fit, I guarantee you're going to love the results. 480-504-0844, online at lifechangealone.com.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. NASCAR Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 7th through the 9th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Hey folks, we're here for Earnhardt Buick GMC in Mesa. Our buddy General Manager Brad Gunlickson and his entire team are rolling out huge President's Day deals all month long, like low 0.9% APR financing on 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Turbo Max and terrain SUVs. Want to go lower? They can do that. Drive out an all-electric 2025 GMC Hummer SUV at 0% APR for 60 months. All offers require approved credit and end soon. So hurry in to Earnhardt Buick GMC or find it all online at EarnhardtBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade and that ain't no bull.
Most new vehicles include a $998 no bull protection package as an added benefit. Offer includes all applicable incentives on select models. APR terms is limited through GM Financial. 0% for 60 months is $16.67 per month for 1,000 finance based on approved credit. Not all will qualify, plus tax, title, license, and $599 doc fee. See dealer for details. Offer ends 3/3/25.
I juggle a lot. And managing constipation with belly pain from my irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, with laxatives and fiber isn't enough. My doctor recommended a way to get ahead of it. Then I said yes to Linzess.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Hey, Wolf here from my brothers and sisters at Santan Ford. That's right, you've heard me talking about my Santan Ford F-150 and the Warrior Queens Expedition and how we are Santan Ford. Well, if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, do yourself a favor. Go check out the hundreds of new and used vehicles at Santan Ford. Located at the Santan 202 in Val Vista in Gilbert, Tim Hovick and the great team at Santan Ford will take care of you. Go to santanford.com. I am Santan Ford.
We all could use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions, so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Hey, it's Wolf. The Suns are closing in on their return from the All-Star break, so which player needs to step up for Phoenix to turn around its season? We'll discuss starting at 10 a.m. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports.
People talk crazy about me all the time, you know? Like, that's not the reason why I didn't want to come back. I just didn't want to get traded midway through the season. And it was nothing against my time with the Warriors, or I heard because I don't like Draymond. At the end of the day, I just didn't want to move, and I wanted to see it through with my team in Phoenix and see what we could do the rest of the season. So I'm glad I'm still there.
That is Kevin Durant sitting down with Malika Andrews over All-Star Weekend. A lot of topics, a lot of talk in San Francisco and the Bay Area about Kevin Durant because it was fresh off the trade deadline where he didn't get moved and his name popped up in reports very late in the process. Well, the Suns are about to get back at it. Tomorrow night, they're in San Antonio to resume their regular season schedule, 4-game road trip before they come home. Very curious to see what this all looks like. I don't have
very much so.
Don't have the greatest expectations or really any expectations whatsoever based on the first 54 games of what we've seen. But when you break it down individually, there's some things to watch. How is Bradley Beal going to be used? How is Kevin Durant going to be used? Will Mike Budenholzer continue to tweak his rotations? But let's be honest, most of the focus is going to be on number 35.
How will Devin Booker respond to not being an all-star? Will there be? Yeah. Okay, listen, I found this interview with Kevin Durant fascinating on a few different levels. Number one, getting all emotional about the Olympic team experience once again kind of crystallized me. I think KD looks at his Olympic career and sees what he kind of wishes his NBA career would be, and that is spotless, immaculate. Okay. Again, to get all teary about that, and in the same breath say, heck no, I'm not going back to Golden State where I won 2 NBA titles. So that's one thing that I took away. The other thing is is Kevin Durant being honest? Is he being honest in saying the reason why I said no to Golden State is because I want to see things out in Phoenix, because I don't want to leave Phoenix, Arizona? And if it is, there's a lot of other subset questions that come off of that. Did you not want a chance to go back with a team that might be more competitive? Does it mean you really honestly do believe this team can pull out of this massive mediocrity they're in? Does it mean you're willing to go even harder and further than you did before to make it work now that it's post-trade deadline? A lot of interesting questions out of this video to me.
Yeah, and I think we saw a couple of examples of a shorthanded Suns team right before the All-Star break where Kevin Durant was asked to carry the load. And I thought the Suns' compete level, Kevin Durant's compete level, was near peaked in those games. They just didn't have the personnel to pull it off and had some other issues in those games. But
I would say there were a few moments. I would agree with you. Generally, on the whole, I would say there were a few moments in those games where there was a lot of the jogging back on defense after committing a turnover. But I'm going to give KD a break because he's logging ridiculous minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing from an injury, and he played 43 minutes in his first game back at age 36.
So if that means not busting ass to get back a couple of times in transition, because I agree with the rest of it. There seemed to be a level of intensity to him, yes.
Yep. Here's another part of that interview Durant did with Malika Andrews from ESPN.
How does the second half of the season shape your outlook for even beyond this year? Moving midseason is one thing. Moving in the summer is maybe something else.
You got to ask front office about that. I mean, I never planned on leaving or moving Phoenix, getting traded. I didn't ask for a trade from Phoenix. But obviously, when you pay so much for a team and we're not playing up to our expectation, and somebody has to go, So, you probably should check in with those guys in the front office throughout the rest of the season and see how they feel about the team. I know that I'm going to keep trying to bring my best every single day, and I let the higher-ups focus on what's next.
Yeah, and one thing I'm very sure of, from an individual standpoint, Kevin Durant does take pride in what he puts out there on the court. Every single time he goes out there.
I agree.
Sometimes he doesn't have it. Sometimes he commits turnover. Sometimes the shooting's not going down. But he plays He plays his brand of basketball every single time. I find that use of language very interesting. You might want to check in with those guys, kind of like saying, well, I haven't really talked to them much. Maybe you should. It is Newsmakers Week, Pick.
Well, yeah. Well, yes, it is. So, but again, aren't you curious about what is the reason why he wants to stay here versus Golden State? Is it because he really doesn't want that pressure? That if he gets traded to Golden State now, then there's a lot of pressure on that team to win.
Yes, and look, Steve Kerr's response when he was asked about it was, it doesn't surprise me he didn't want to come back here. We lived through all the crap that he took when he made the determination to go to Golden State. He was roasted for it. And it worked out wonderfully for him personally and for that franchise. They went to the finals 3 straight years. He won 2 championships, won 2 finals MVPs, and was still criticized for it. And a lot of people still diminished those 2 titles on his resume. Steve Kerr says, I don't blame him for not wanting to put up with that crap ever again.
Well, that is crap.
And Kevin Durant's quote, I don't blame him if that's the reason. I don't blame him for not saying that publicly.
Well, the question is, though, did he very specifically and only not want to go to Golden State? If there was another trade partner that the Suns had already gone all the way down the road with and he just had to kind of approve it, would he have been okay? How much of it is truly I want to see it out with Phoenix, and how much of it is I specifically only don't want to go to Golden State?
That I don't think we'll ever know, because I think the Golden State thing popped up while it was behind closed doors for a while. It came to light on January 31st, which was 7 days before the trade deadline. So I don't know how far down the road they could have gotten with any other team because of the complexity of those deals involved.
Okay, so I think this is interesting, and this is just a speculative conversation. We're not trying to split the atom here. I think it's interesting because I think you're right. I think Steve Kerr is probably closer to the truth, and I think KD just doesn't want to come out and say that because that's you're right. That's opening a Pandora's box, right? If you come out and say, I don't want to go back, I don't want to relive that. That was ridiculous the way I was framed. Because, as I have said repeatedly, Kevin Durant got a really bad rap there. Kevin Durant saved Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson's legacy. It's not really so much of him besmirching his own legacy, although people in Oklahoma City certainly are going to argue with that. But he basically joined that team after LeBron exposed them. Okay, so if it's that, I wonder also if it's the case of I don't want to leave Phoenix. I wonder if that's sort of a message to ownership, like, why are you trying to trade me? Don't you understand? I actually want to be here. I don't know. I just found the messaging of it all very, very interesting on a lot of different levels, because a lot of media people thought if Kevin Durant went back to Golden State, you could close that loop. You could make that ragged ending whole again. There were people who said that KD would even finally have his forever basketball home. If you went back to Golden State and won another championship, then that's going to be the franchise that lays claim to him forever.
That's the one that puts the statue out front.
Right.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's 2025. They last won a title in Golden State with Kevin Durant in 2018. Look, I don't think they were a championship team. I don't think they're a championship team with Jimmy Butler. I don't think they're a championship team with Kevin Durant. And I think he probably recognized that, too.
That could be that might be accurate as well.
But bottom line is, we'll go back to my thoughts right after the trade deadline. Kevin Durant has taken the high road. If I was him, I'd be pissed. When I made it clear I wanted to stay here, and then you shopped me and didn't do it.
Or at least not getting a heads up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's earned it.
Yeah.
He's earned it.
Right.
Arizona Sports is giving you the chance to experience Innings Festival. You'll see performances by the Lumineers, Casey Musgraves, Kings of Leon, and many more. Head to the contest page now at arizonasports.com. Presented by Y-Refi for complete details or your chance to win tickets. Coming up next, we had a bevy of D-backs guests for Newsmakers Week yesterday, and we'll tell you what they had to say. We'll run it down next. Bickley and Marotta Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
What I'm excited about is how this team molds and forms and comes together from this day moving forward.
Spring training coverage presented by Estrella Jalisco and Window Depot. Nobody brings you more D-backs than we do. The home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Healthy hearts love longer. They let you be there for all of life's most precious moments, big and small. That's why the expert cardiologists at Dignity Health never miss a beat. They work alongside a cardiology care team to guide you through whatever comes your way. It's our job to keep your heart in tip-top shape so you can be there for whatever greatness comes next. Find your doctor today at dignityhealth.org/azheart. Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness.
February means big President's Day savings all month long at the best place in the Valley to get into a new Ford. Of course, that is Earnhardt Ford in Chandler, and that is where General Manager John Nissen and his entire team are rolling out huge discounts like 2024 Ford F-150 STXs and XLTs. They are available at a low 3.9% APR financing rate on approved credit for 60 months, plus get up to $7,000 total cash back towards your purchase. If you're looking for an EV option, the all-electric 2024 Ford Mustang Mach-E available at zero. You heard that right, 0% APR for a full 72 months on approved credit, plus $2,500 in Ford bonus cash and a Ford home charger and free installation with 24/7 live support. These offers do require approved credit. See dealer for details, and they end March 3rd, 2025. You can take advantage of them now at Earnhardt Ford in Chandler. Visit the team in person, I-10 and Ray Road, or complete your entire buying process online at earnhardtford.com, and that ain't no bull.
Golf isn't usually seen as a contact sport, but when today's golfers drive the ball more than 3 football fields in distance, they twist their spines with a force similar to being ejected by a military aircraft. Back injuries are to golf what a concussion is to football, and 1/3 of golfers need care for spine injuries. The Barrow Neurological Institute Spine Program offers minimally invasive surgery to help you get back to your game sooner. Get an opinion at barrowneuro.org/golf. Barrow Neurological Institute, minding what matters most.
Lose weight easier and faster with Red Mountain Weight Loss. Discover the power of semaglutide and tirzepatide, the breakthrough GLP-1 medications that are transforming lives. You lose up to 15 pounds a month without feeling hungry or deprived. And for a limited time only, save $100 on any GLP program and get our lowest prices of the year. Don't wait. Lose up to 15 pounds by this time next month only at Red Mountain Weight Loss. Go to redmountainweightloss.com.
In celebration of Arizona being the 48th state of the Union and Ford trucks being #1 in sales for 48 straight years, Sanderson Ford is celebrating President's Day with a presidential sale on 848 new vehicles, net A with savings of $4,800 or more.
Save up to $4,800 on Bronco Sport Badlands. Save up to $10,000 off on F-150, STX, and XLT trucks, and save up to $10,000 off on full-size Bronco Badlands. Sanderson Ford also has 25 quality pre-owned vehicles to choose from, priced at $25,000 or less.
Shop with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense, and see why Sanderson Ford is America's most awarded Ford dealership for complete customer satisfaction. Don't miss the Sanderson Ford Presidential Sale.
Offers on 2024 models and include Ford rebates, Sanderson discounts, and Conquest cash and flex buy discounts you must qualify for. See dealer for details. All offers expire March 3rd, 2025.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. The Sun Devil basketball team continues to spiral into a deep nosedive. Last night in Tempe, number 5 Houston cruised to an 80-65 win, and watching it, the Cougars never seemed to be in trouble. The turning point came late in the first half when Houston took what was a close game and turned it into a blowout, hitting 7 of 9 shots to take a 16-point lead, 47-31 at the break. ASU got Jaden Quaintance back after he missed 2 games with a sprained ankle. Still, the Cougars would go on to win by 15, handing ASU its 6th straight loss overall, its 7th loss in a row at home. Next up, Sunday at Kansas State, and you can hear that one here on Arizona Sports 98.7. The Suns begin a tough stretch after the All-Star break with 4 road games in 6 days, beginning tomorrow night in San Antonio. The Suns and Spurs will play in Austin, Texas, and you can hear all the action here on Arizona Sports 98.7 with tip-off scheduled for 7:30. It's just about time to go watch some baseball. Cactus League games begin tomorrow. Cubs play the Dodgers in Glendale Thursday, and the D-backs host the Rockies Friday afternoon. The newly acquired Corbin Burns is scheduled to start, and this report is brought to you by Brooklyn Betting. The President's Day sale has been extended. Get 30% off in-store and online through February 25th. Find a showroom today or go to brooklynbetting.com.
Hey, it's
it's Luke. Now that Heraldo Perdomo has been extended, which Arizona Diamondbacks player should receive an extension next? We'll discuss starting at 10 a.m. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports.
Shortstop's a tricky position. I think there's an element of where can you get to on the field to make plays, and then there's an element of making every single play. And I think the sure-handedness, steadiness, consistency, his technique, how he plays the position is up there at the very top of the game.
I just want to thank you, to the organization, Ken, Derek, Mike, for the opportunity, for this big day, for my family. I'm so happy for what they've done for me. The manager too, every coach I have put a little bit of effort since I was 17 years old. It was special.
It's Mike Hazen yesterday talking about the Heraldo Perdomo extension, 4 years, $45 million, stays in part of the organization, talking about what a good shortstop he is, underrated shortstop. That was Perdomo himself thanking the organization. And it didn't really dawn on me, and we've talked about the importance of Heraldo Perdomo, and obviously the Diamondbacks felt that last year. The breakdown of when he was on the field to when he wasn't on the field for the D-backs is stark. Their winning percentage in games that Perdomo played, he played 98 games, 602 winning percentage. Games without Perdomo, the 64 games he missed, 469. If he's healthy, they're probably a playoff team.
He's one of the better bottom of the order, bottom of the lineup hitters you're going to find. He's got such a great way to work pitchers, to get on base, as Torey Lovello likes to call it, turning the lineup over to either Ketel Marte or Corbin Carroll, depending who's leading off. It's one of many things he does well, and it's super cool to see a guy like Heraldo Perdomo, who sat down with us last spring and talked about his ambition and his hunger and how he can't take a step back and how he's got to keep his career going. And for a guy like that to get a bag, that's fantastic. And to see the joy in the Diamondbacks giving him that money, saying, dude is now going to be able to take care of generations of his family.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. So I'm stoked about it. I'm very, very happy for him. And yeah, I think he is one of the more underrated, impactful players in baseball.
And it's a pretty good deal. I mean,
it's good for him, and it's very team friendly
pretty fair
as well.
overall. Yeah.
Here was Mike Hazen on the extension for Heraldo Perdomo specifically.
Very exciting day for us today. The opportunity for us to extend what I think is one of our best baseball players, keeping him here. For our team and the city, I know how much the fans truly respect and appreciate the way he plays the game. We feel the same way. I know I can speak for Torey on this. The way he plays the baseball game is the way we try to play the baseball game, which is smart and fast and dynamic on both sides of the ball. And I think he represents what we want to be as an organization and as a team. So I'm extremely happy to be able to announce this today.
And just you talked about how cool it is to see this progression, and the Diamondbacks brass talked about it. He's been part of the organization since he was 16, 17 years old in the Dominican Republic. But when he was pressed into duty 2 years ago as an everyday shortstop in 2022, and he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready offensively, certainly. He was statistically the worst offensive player in baseball, but trudged out there every day, still played good defense, and played over 140 games. His batting average, and I know batting average is not the end-all, be-all statistic it used to be, but he's improved at 75 points. From last year's average to where it started. He was 198 as an everyday player in 2022. Just a remarkable story.
Oh no, it is, and it also really throws into focus the succession plan here. At one point in time, Jordan Lawler was considered the hot young prospect in the organization, and now he's got a guy slotted in front of him who just got a 4-year contract extension. I thought it was very interesting, Mike Hazen's response about that. He basically said depth at the position is not what's going to hold him back. That he's got to go and grab this thing.
Yeah, I also, and here's that question. I did ask about Jordan Lawler specifically when Mike Hazen joined us for Newsmakers Week.
Yeah, the depth is not keeping Jordan Lawler off the roster. So I can promise you that. I think the history over the last year or so, he was hurt for the majority of last year. Obviously, he came up in 23 and did a really good job for us at the end of the season. And nothing has changed with regard to Jordan Lawler. And when Jordan Lawler is ready to be on this team, Jordan Lawler is going to be on this team. And we very much feel the exact same way we always have. He's extremely talented. He's an incredible baseball player. He has great makeup and work ethic, and he fits into the fabric of what this organization is going to be. I'm not worried. No team, if you look at the rosters of the teams that we're competing with at the very top of the National League, you're not going to find 9 good players on that team. You're going to find 13 good position players on that team. And that's what we need to shoot for if we're going to stay competitive. And so I'm not worried about what positions we have, what you would consider to be locked down. We have opportunity for good players to come onto this roster at any point in time.
I understand exactly what Mike Hazen is saying, but then if you look through and read between the lines too, I would expect Jordan Lawler to get a lot of reps minor league to start the season at third base. He's probably their third baseman of the future.
Yeah,
since you just locked up Perdomo.
Right. That is something that would be very logical. Yeah, I agree with you.
As well as Mike Hazen, we also spoke to Torey Lovullo. We also spoke to Derek Hall. So there's a lot of Diamondbacks ground covered yesterday, from on the field to television contracts to stadium upgrades. And here was Derek Hall updating the situation with Chase Field on this creation of recapturing tax money to go back into the stadium refurbishment.
I think so, Bick. There's a lot of momentum behind this bill that Representative Jeff Winnegar introduced, and both sides of the aisle are showing a lot of support for it. It's a good public-private partnership that we were seeking. It would allow us, with that annual recapture, it would allow us to borrow money from that. We've talked all along about putting, $200 to $300 million of our own money, $200 to $300 million of our own money back into the building itself. It's not creating a new tax. It's taking all of the sales tax and income tax that's generated from Chase Field alone, putting it right back into the fund for Chase Field. And here we are coming up on 30 years, and the ballpark really needs it. And we've identified at least $400 to $500 million of needs in that ballpark, most of which our fans wouldn't even see. It's a lot of infrastructure. It's fixing concrete. It's pipes. It's having to overhaul that entire HVAC system, as we've talked about the last couple of years. It's a new video board.
Yeah, so a lot of it there.
That's so depressing to me, because what I want is an upgraded, different-looking stadium. And yet all that money that they need, it's all for stuff, as he said, you're not going to see. It's going to make zero difference to your experience as a baseball fan.
Yeah, and maybe a massive redo is years down the line. That they're just going to keep it afloat for now because of all of the improvements that need to be made. They've already fixed the roof, so we'll get to hear the roof music again this year. That's a cool thing. But my biggest takeaway from that whole discussion, Bick, was just the change in tone. It was a very ominous tone at the end of the regular season, where there was some quotes back and forth. Derek Hall made some comments on this very show that didn't indicate much faith in the parties involved.
Ominous, frustrated, almost angry at times.
And it seemed like there was a lot of peril in the future for that particular subject. And to see that cleared up over the course of 4 or 5 months is very, very positive for this team.
Yes, I would agree with that, and I think that the Diamondbacks being relevant right now, the timing certainly helps them at being a team with championship aspirations. One of the big takeaways with the Diamondbacks so far this year is when the national writers like Bob Nightingale and others, when they begin to write national stories about this baseball team, what they're finding out is that the Diamondbacks are giving no quarter to the Los Angeles Dodgers. In fact, there's a story on a Dodgers website about, man, can you believe the Diamondbacks aren't intimidated by us? That's basically the tone of it. It's not what they say, but it's the tone of it. And I mean, because already Kevin Ginkel has said, listen, they've done what they've done, but you put us in a series against them, I like our chances. Mm-hmm. And Corbin Burns has said that as well. And so there's a ton of, and again, you get this kind of optimism in every training camp, in every Cactus League or Grapefruit League location. But the difference is the Diamondbacks look at that rotation of what they have, and they see a way to beat the Dodgers. I hope it works.
Yeah, and their most recent example of being pitted up against them in a postseason series obviously went the Diamondbacks' way. It's just a little discouraging that you have to endure 162 games of life with the Dodgers. We're going to get into this later on, too.
Mm-hmm. And their most recent series was only 2 years ago, and since then the Dodgers have only added multiple MVPs and Cy Young winners.
And won a World Series title on top of it. Coming up next, it is Newsmakers Week 2025. Coming up at 7 o'clock, we're going to talk to ASU football coach Kenny Dillingham, but we're going to kick off today with a little soccer, of the other kind of football. It is
Kenny's actually been moved to 8:30, so stay tuned to 8:30.
Thanks for the update.
I'll check your teams.
All right, I appreciate that, Jared. We're going to talk Phoenix Rising FC. Team president Bobby Dulle and head coach Pa-Modou Kah will join us in studio as they get ready to kick off their season next. Bickley and Murata mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons.
You want to sign somebody in free agency on the cheap, on the down low, not very expensive? Fine. You can use depth there, and you can use veteran guys there to help. But this is only going to work next year if Marvin Harrison Jr. is elite. And if Marvin Harrison Jr. isn't elite after 2 years in the league, there are going to be some real question marks about this draft, about this general manager, about his ability to build this team. Not that it all falls on one guy.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons 2 till 6 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Are you feeling run down, tired, and low on energy? Are you experiencing brain fog and body aches but just don't know why? Restore Wellness has an amazing treatment that will give you the essential vitamins, minerals, and electrolytes your body needs to heal. And it's covered by insurance. At Restore Wellness, we're using a painless IV therapy to help your body quickly absorb the nutrients it needs. We personalize each treatment to boost your immunity, increase your energy, and decrease your symptoms. Don't wait to get healthy again.
The first 25 callers will receive an in-depth consultation absolutely free. Call 480-746-3200 now.
We can recharge your immune system, help you rehydrate, and get you feeling better fast. The treatments are covered by all insurance companies, including Medicare.
Be one of the first 25 people to call 480-746-3200 and receive an in-depth consultation absolutely free.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. 1 minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Only on the CW.
Live all season.
How you like that, baby?
See NASCAR Xfinity Superstars, Justin Allgaier and Austin Hill.
Let's go win a championship!
Alongside racing's hungriest up-and-comers.
Timbers are flaring. Tell him I'm coming for him. That kid is amazing.
It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series on the CW. This week, we're live from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Coverage begins Saturday at 2:30, only on CW7 Arizona.
Channel 7, it's all good.
This President's Day, if you're shopping for a car, truck, SUV, or crossover, certified, pre-owned, or even electric, you owe it to yourself to check out your Valley Chevy dealers. Drive yours away this President's Day. Live life bigger in a new Blazer, or the award-winning Equinox, or the roomy and dependable Trax, where versatility meets agility. Don't miss out on the chance to drive yours away this President's Day. See your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Hey, it's Gambo. Have you been wanting a soft water unit for your home? Now is the time to get one. Christian Brothers is offering a whole home water filtration system starting at just $2,200, and you can even finance it for as low as $50 per month. They want people living in Maricopa County to have complete confidence in the water coming from their taps. So take advantage by calling Christian Brothers at 602-222-3535 or go online at cbrothers.com. That's cbrothers.com.
As we approach this International Women's Day, we proudly honor the incredible contributions of women, shaping the future in our communities, at home, and right here at Morris Hall.
Andrea Klaus, attorney and managing partner of Morris Hall, a premier Arizona estate planning law firm.
Helping families secure their legacies with thoughtful estate planning is our purpose. At Morris Hall, we are proud of the women on our team who bring experience, strength, and compassion to every client interaction. We recognize and celebrate the exceptional perspectives women bring to the table while valuing the collaborative effort of everyone on our team. On behalf of all of us at Morris Hall, I invite you to meet with us for a complimentary estate planning consultation. Together, we can help protect what matters most to you and your family.
For your complimentary consultation, please visit morrishall.com. That's morrishall.com. Morris Hall, celebrating women's leadership and building strong legacies.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings.
Yeah, it's day 2 of Newsmakers Week 2025 as we shift our focus to Phoenix Rising FC. They kick off their regular season Saturday, March 8th against FC Tulsa at Phoenix Rising Soccer Stadium. And here to break down the season, president of Phoenix Rising FC, Bobby Dulle, and the new manager of the team, Pa-Modou Kah, who join us in studio. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Newsmakers Week. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Good to have you. So, Bobby, let's jump right in here. Before we get into the bright new future, you guys, from winning a championship in 23 to what you experienced last year, 2 different managers, all the roster changes, that's about as rough of an encore as I guess somebody might imagine. So what went wrong and how did you fix it?
Yeah, we had a tough year last year, obviously coming on the high of 2023 when we won the championship, and some personnel changes, head coach moved on, and we just couldn't find the right recipe last year. So as we went into this offseason, it was important for us to find someone to lead our soccer operation that was a clear communicator, great motivator, someone that could raise the level and the standards, and ultimately has a clear vision on how he wants to do things. And we were really excited that we got a chance to meet Pa-Modou Kah and our new head coach in the offseason, interviewing and bring him on board and his experience. And it's been exciting these few weeks of preseason. There's a lot of buzz and a lot of energy in camp right now.
And doing research on you, Pa, and welcome to Phoenix, by the way.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. You described as a passionate coach. Obviously, you played the game at an international level. How else would you describe your coaching style at this point?
Well, I'm direct, I'm firm, but also I'm empathic because I can understand the players. Have gone through it myself. So, but first of all, I'm great to be here. You know, very excited to be able to get this opportunity to lead this club, which is a very ambitious club. And like Bobby said, we were aligned when we spoke about how we want to go about this club in the future. And obviously to be able to do that now with these boys and a club that is very ambitious, I'm looking forward to it. So if I look at myself, I'm a builder. That's the way I would describe myself. I'm a builder that is focused on the present, but as well as the future.
What's interesting is my partner pointed out you had a 19-year playing career. You've been on 9 different clubs. You've played in 7 different countries, 3 different continents. So you bring a worldview and a lot of experience to this position. What has all those experiences, how did they form you as a coach?
Obviously, you get formed and you mold yourself according to who you are, first and foremost. That's what I believe in. I'm a person that, you know, I love this game, but also I'm a person that want to work with people. And I think that's the biggest thing that we have in our game, that we look at the players as people first and foremost, because they play football for 90 minutes, but the rest of the time they're just normal human beings with normal problems that everybody has around the world. So for me, what we're looking for is to create an environment where they can grow, express themselves first and foremost as people. And when you get that and you create that, it's just beautiful. And that's what the sports gave you. And I've been fortunate to be able to do that for a living. You know, it's my hobby. It's not a job, like I always tell people. So I'm very happy to be able to see the world, understand the world, see different cultures, which allows me then to walk in a locker room and help all the young players.
Bobby, you talked about finding the right recipe after last season, and to hear Pa talk. Obviously, we know you long enough, and we know how winning is important to Phoenix Rising FC. So what is it about Pa that in this search for a new coach stood out to you? Maybe some of the intangible things that stood out that meet that recipe for you?
As he just mentioned, he develops people, and he can take any roster, any player, and he can get the most out of them. And we, of course, we've been able to acquire a lot of talented players out here. So if you mix that talent with someone that can motivate, push people, and get the most out of them, ultimately you think you have a product that's fun for our fans to watch, but also our players can come here. They can give us everything to the club, they can keep improving, and then they can move on to bigger and better things as well. And I think that's something that I'm most prideful about over the years. There's been a lot of people, whether they've been in the front office or they've been coaches or they've been players, they've come to our organization, they've been challenged, they've competed every day, they've contributed a lot to us, and they've gone on and they've brought Phoenix Rising with them. And I think there's no one better right now in the sport in North America right now that can develop people and players the way that Pa-Modou Kah can, and we're excited to see that come together here this year.
All right, so Coach, how does the building begin for you? Where do you start? Is it culture? Is it standards? Where do you begin?
Culture. Because culture is about characters and behaviors. And once you get people to understand it, and also the goal of the club, because sometimes that get lost. And I think the most important thing is to understand who we are and what the club is about. And therefore you bring people, like Bobby said, people that want to be here. Because it's very important that you get people that want to be here, people that understand Arizona and the community. And therefore that you know that when you're going to inspire them, you're going to motivate them, they're here for the right reasons. That's what we look for. And to be able to create that, obviously secondary will be the playing style, obviously. And Phoenix is a team that want to play attacking football. I want to play attacking football. So that is a great match together, and we want our fans to come to the stadium and feel that they're part of this club. That when they go away, they're like, man, I want to come back next Saturday. That's the feeling that we want to give them.
Now, I know you're new on the job. We're talking to Bobby Dulle and Pa-Modou Kah from Phoenix Rising FC. I know, Pa, you're new on the job, but what do you know about this fan base? You talked about the fans coming in. It is a very passionate bunch. I'm sure you've experienced that somehow, but what are your first impressions of the fan base of Phoenix Rising?
Honestly, just watching from afar, it's been fantastic. And I want to obviously feel it myself, and come March 8th, I think they will be more than ready, and I think they deserve it after the season that we had last year. Obviously, we never look into the past, but for me, I'm looking forward to have a passionate fan base. I know what is it like to play for a passionate fan base, so that will help us, and that will help especially the players, and they're ambitious bunch, and like Bobby said, when you win a championship, and Phoenix is a club that has always won, so that is very important also that to put it out there. I'm also ambitious. I want us to win, but we can only do that together. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so you guys lost a goalkeeper who went and joined some guy named Messi. I don't know if I've ever heard of him in Miami. Can't blame him for that. So who are the candidates this year? Tell us about. Let's get into the team a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think we're really happy for Rocco to play in that environment and to see his last game in Phoenix Rising and his first game this season walking out with Messi and Busquets and those players for Inter Miami. We're proud, right? Again, someone that's come here, given everything this organization, put us on his back in the penalty shootout a couple of years ago. Oh, yeah. So we're happy for him. But we have a lot of guys, a lot of young players that have joined us this year. We have some good returners like Pat Rakowski, who was there every day in goal. And again, I think you're going to see a lot of, as Paul mentioned, guys that want to attack. We want to play on the front foot, and players that have that 1v1 ability and a little bit of flair too. And hopefully that, again, is an exciting game each and every time the fans can come out.
Yeah, Pa, you've also been described as a communicator earlier on in our discussion. The thing that stood out to me, you speak 7 languages fluently. How do you pick up languages that quickly? Is there a trick to it? Just living all over the world.
Yeah, living all over the world's a trick.
That's one of them. But also, I just feel like language is something that is very important, because if I'm in somebody's country, I'm the guest, and it's my job to understand their culture and understand their language, because then I believe that their help will be more valuable to me than when I just come in and just don't want to learn the language or want to learn the culture. So it also helps, because football is, is a world sport, so you never know who you're going to meet.
True.
And then to able to help and guide them, especially when you live in a country and somebody else new is coming, they have that little bit of a security that somebody can help them as well.
What are the 7 languages that you speak?
Well, that's my native, which is Wolof. Then I have English. Then I have Norwegian. Then I have Dutch. Then I have French. Then I have Arabic. And I have Spanish.
It's fantastic.
And he's got about a dozen more, because every player agent that we've talked to around the world, it's been so impressive. It's one of the most amazing things for me to sit and watch. It's incredible.
Yeah. Makes me feel like quite a slug.
Me too.
One thing that's universal, regardless of what sport we're talking about, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whatever it is, teams that win championships always underestimate the target that's going to be on their back, that there's a huge difference between being the hunter and being the hunted. Is that something you guys learned last year?
Yeah, I think we've known that as Paul mentioned, our fan base from day one when he signed players like Didier Drogba, we want to set the standard at that, and we are okay with that target. The players we attract here, the coaches that we have here, the people who are a part of this organization like that, and in some ways we've helped establish that standard of winning and win streaks and trophies. We've won 5 big trophies over this is going into our 9th year. So that's the pressure, and as Paul will always tell you, pressure is a privilege, and we enjoy that. So the expectations are high. I wouldn't want it any other way. I love that our fans hold us accountable. I hold Paul accountable. He holds me, the players. It's about all of us. So we like that target. We'd rather be out there and go. And I think that's something we've lacked the last couple of years, even during our championship season, is that consistency. We want to create that environment that every time teams step off that plane and they're in Phoenix and it's hot and they come in and they see 10,000 fans and screaming and yelling and on them, we want to be a really difficult place to play, and we need to be more consistent. And I think that's something I'm looking for this year, is the team to be more consistent both home and away, and hopefully that leads to a top finish and some home playoff games.
Season has almost started. Season opener Saturday, March 8th at home, Phoenix Rising Stadium against FC Tulsa. For ticket information, fans can go to phxrisingfc.com. Gentlemen, thanks for coming in today. Always good to talk to you, Bobby. Pa, great to meet you, and best of luck on this season.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Bobby Dulle, Pa-Modou Kah, the new head coach of Phoenix Rising FC, joining us in studio for Newsmakers Week 2025 here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
You can't use the old excuse about not having enough storage, because we know you've got the cloud. Download the Arizona Sports app and keep it on your home screen for breaking sports news, all the Arizona sports shows and podcasts. Plus, listen to the Suns, D-backs, ASU athletics, and more on your phone. The Arizona Sports app is presented by Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
After we met and we started dating, Nancy and I lived 150 miles apart, and I would drive my old jalopy car, and it was roughly a 3-hour distance. It took 3 years I drove across that state back and forth dating her every weekend.
Persistence.
And I would have never stopped. I had a lot of energy back then, 36 years ago.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here with 3 reasons why you call Parker & Sons for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. Number 1, they're reputable and highly decorated. I'm talking about an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, the most awarded firm in Arizona. Number 2, they're fast and reliable. When you need them, they're there in minutes, not days. No extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. Told you about my plumbing emergency last week. 4:30 in the morning, I called Parker & Sons. I reached a live person, to my shock, and they had that work done before I even got home from this radio show. Number 3, they are trustworthy and credible. All their technicians are licensed, bonded, and insured. All of them trust certified. They've been serving residences and businesses in the Phoenix area for 50 years, and they've got a great reputation for going well beyond expectations to make sure you are 100% satisfied. So whether you're talking about staying cool in the summer, staying warm in the winter, or help with things like plumbing emergencies, they're the company you trust with your most valuable asset. Call 602-2-REPAIR, 602, 2-REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
Every day, reliable, comfortable, connected.
Every day you rely on power. At APS, we work around the clock to deliver some of the most reliable power in the country. But with Arizona's extreme weather, outages can happen. Stay safe and informed with alerts by keeping your contact information up to date. And visit our outage center for updates online or on the APS app. For more ways to stay safe and informed, visit aps.com/brighter.
Hey, it's Mike Broomhead, and if I'm ever hurt in an accident, I'm calling Sweet James. That's right. I already know that's the team I want on my side, and so should you. Because the attorneys at Sweet James don't just win, they win the most. For example, one of our listeners was injured after being rear-ended at a red light. The insurance companies offered them $60,000. Now, that might seem like a lot of money, but with Sweet James protecting them, they were awarded $745,000 instead. They can't guarantee the outcome of a case, but whether it's a car crash, motorcycle accident, or trucking accident, the attorneys at Sweet James are unstoppable in their pursuit of justice, and you pay nothing until they win your case. So if you or a loved one is hurt in an accident, call Sweet James, 800-9-MILLION for a free consultation. An easy number to remember during an uneasy time. Don't wait, because waiting can hurt your case. 800-9-MILLION. That's the firm that wins the most. Sweet James. 800-9-MILLION or at sweetjames.com. Once again, that's sweetjames.com.
Proud partner of your Phoenix Suns.
So you're in pretty decent shape, but okay. As we get older, we lose a step. Totally natural part of being a guy. And at Vital for Men, we got your back by helping you get it back. Testosterone replacement therapy is designed to make you feel powerful, sharp, and renewed. Get started today with a free test at one of our 3 Valley-wide locations. And on top of that, we're excited to offer semaglutide to support your health journey even further. Visit Vital4Men.com today. Vital4Men.com. It's time to get it back.
KMBP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. The Houston Cougars came into Desert Financial Arena and showed why they were a top 5 team. ASU kept it close for a little bit, but the Cougars closed the first half with a flurry, hitting 7 of 9 shots to take a 16-point lead, 47-31 at the break. Then went on a 7-0 run in the second half to make it a 23-point margin, and that was that. The final 80-65. It marked the return of Jaden Quaidens to the ASU lineup, but the young freshman didn't score and had 2 rebounds and 2 assists. The Sun Devils have now lost 6 in a row overall, 7 straight at home. ASU is back on the floor Sunday at Kansas State. You can hear that game here on Arizona Sports 98.7. In about a month and a half, the NFL Draft will determine the future of young football players from across the country. While the Tennessee Titans hold the first overall pick, the Cardinals will have the 16th, projected to take defense, a run stopper, or pass rusher, best available. The spring is always a good time to get out and watch some baseball, and there are more games and more choices in the spring. Cactus League action begins tomorrow. The Diamondbacks play Friday when the D-backs host the Rockies. The Suns are back on the floor after the All-Star break on Thursday, playing 4 games in 6 days on the road beginning tomorrow night in San Antonio. The Suns and Spurs will play in Austin, Texas. You can hear that game at 7:30. Tip-off is scheduled for that. Well, the report is brought to you by Brooklyn Betting. The President's Day sale has been extended. Get 30% off in-store and online through February 25th. Find a showroom today or go to brooklynbetting.com.
Hey, it's Gambo. Who would you pick as the Diamondbacks opening day starter? Corbin Burns or Zach Gallen? The Burns and Gambo Show, 2 to 6 on Arizona Sports.
I'm not really tied to any particular team in general right now. I just want to go out there and contend. I want to be playing meaningful games at the end of the season. Well, that's the end of the regular season, and going into the postseason as well. That's just that exciting brand of football, the legacy in which we want to build, and the games in which we remember the most. And I want to be a part of that NFL history. And so any team that's on the way to contending or make those next steps on the cusp, I could see myself being part of that and taking them over the top.
It's Myles Garrett earlier this offseason leading up to the Super Bowl talking about wanting to be traded from the Cleveland Browns, talking about what type of team he would like to play for. Didn't really eliminate much, a team on the cusp. You could certainly make a compelling argument that the Arizona Cardinals are a team on the cusp in the NFL, Bick. Mm-hmm. They had an improvement this year. They were in position at their bye week to be a first-place team, a playoff team. Things didn't end well, but certainly after the frustration of the ending, you can point to improvement and a brighter future. And we've talked about the importance of this offseason in certain areas of roster building for Monty Ossenfort and company. One of those is beefing up the lines, especially the defensive line, most notably the pass rush. And there's a lot of talk about Myles Garrett. There's a lot of talk about this free agent class, too, because there's one specific pass rusher who's rated as one of the top free agents available who has ties to Jonathan Gannon, and that's Josh Sweat, who really was on display in the Super Bowl win for the Eagles over the Chiefs. Had, 2.5 sacks in that game. He is a proven pass rusher in this league, and a lot of these websites are projecting Josh Sweat to be a really good fit for the Arizona Cardinals.
And I wonder if it's anything more substantial than the fact that Jonathan Gannon was once the defensive coordinator in Philadelphia. I hope it is more substantial. I hope that this kid, that he would feel the same way about playing for Jonathan Gannon as Jonathan Gannon would about having him.
Yes.
So if there's like mutual interest already going in, that means the Cardinals have an inroads to get him. And yeah, it would be a great get for them. He 8 sacks last year, 33 pressures, and then he had a starring role in the Super Bowl. He even joked after the Super Bowl that he should have been the MVP.
I said it the next day. Like, it was kind of weird with that defensive performance that the MVP didn't come from the defensive side of the ball.
I don't know how you would have just taken one guy out of it. I think Josh Sweat obviously had the had the numbers, the sack totals to do it, but it was everybody. It was Jalen Carter. It was all those guys.
Yeah.
So, I think that as it pertains to the Cardinals, this would be a great addition.
Yes.
It's clearly what they need. He's not the superstar that Myles Garrett is, but you don't have to trade for him, and it'll cost you less money.
That's where I was going. I think at the end of it, when the smoke clears, if the Cardinals get either one of these guys to bolster their defensive line, they're in great shape.
Yeah.
But if it comes to either or, you hit on something that I think is interesting. Myles Garrett is a better football player than Josh Sweat. He's proven that over the course of his career. He's done it on bad teams. He is a beast, a defensive player of the year caliber guy. But you got to trade for him. Is it going to be 2 first-round picks and a player? You're giving up valuable capital in probably this year's draft and next year's. Whereas Josh Sweat, not as accomplished a player, still very good, and again, one of the top free agents available. You don't have to give up draft compensation to get him. You can sign him as a free agent. Does that sway your thinking at all?
Well, it doesn't sway my thinking, because I would be over the moon if the Cardinals get either guy.
I would be too.
But if you asked me, you can pick one or the other, I probably would go with Josh Sweat, because you keep all your draft capital and you're not going to pay him as much. Pro Football Focus is estimating Josh Sweat will command $18 million per year. Myles Garrett's going to be in the 30s. So there's that. But again, Myles Garrett is also he's the top of the food chain.
But the other thing that might sway you back is Myles Garrett has produced on a number of different types of Cleveland Brown defenses, and he's been the guy. Do you trust Josh Sweat to be as productive if he's not playing on an otherworldly defense that he had around him in Philly?
That's the question.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very good one, because he was surrounded by talent, right? Everywhere on that football field. We saw that in the Super Bowl, from Cooper DeJean to Jalen Carter,
Zach Vaughn.
Zach Vaughn, all those guys. They were a machine. And so. And again, I was the dude who said they were overrated as a defense going into the Super Bowl. They weren't overrated in the Super Bowl. They unleashed a fury that they did not show very often in the regular season, and it was breathtaking to see what they did to Patrick Mahomes.
It was.
But that's a great question, because if you took him out of that mix and put him here in Arizona, would you get the same kind of player? This is where the familiarity of Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rollis with this kid, I think, would come in handy.
Yeah.
But he'd be entering a defense where he would be the clear number one guy now.
He would be.
Where the offensive, is focusing on him.
Right.
Also entering a defense that we can feel pretty confident in. Whoever's out there is going to play with their hair on fire, to use a Bickleyism. Those guys play hard, and Nick Rollis has squeezed a lot out of a talent-deficient defense over the last 2 years. There was one other note free agent-wise that I thought was interesting. ESPN's list of their top 50 free agents, they have Sweat at number 7, and they do list the Cardinals as the best team fit. But another area of need is wide receiver. They have Amari Cooper as the 30th best wide receiver available, and best team fit being the Arizona Cardinals. And I know people are looking at T. Higgins. Is he going to get out of Cincinnati?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. They're probably going to franchise him or do whatever to keep him there and keep Joe Burrow happy. Is Amari Cooper the quality of receiver that we should be expecting the Cardinals to go after if they want to bolster that room, which they should? But is he the difference maker that they need?
Is he enough? He's dependable. He runs good routes. He's got reliable hands.
Is this AJ Green 2.0 at this point?
That's what I'm worried about.
Amari Cooper, there was a lot of headlines about him going to Buffalo last year, and he was okay. Didn't really make a huge impact on that Bills offense.
He was really good in Cleveland a couple of years ago. And I thought, wow, this kid he's going to get that level. He's going to level up, and he hasn't. So I don't know. I've got mixed feelings about him. But the need there is profound as well. These are a couple of boxes this organization has got to get checked.
Yep. Multi-platinum Arizona native Dierks Bentley has announced he'll be coming to Talking Stick Resort on June 20th for the Broken Branches Tour. Tickets go on sale this Friday. You can win a pair right now by visiting the contest page at arizonasports.com, presented by Y-Refi. Coming up, does Kevin Durant really believe he can turn things around in Phoenix? We'll get into that straight ahead here on the Wednesday edition of Bickley and Murata Mornings, Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
The Cactus League is underway.
There's a swing and a drive deep to left field. Profar backtrack, wall and gone. Off the bench and an instant impact for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. A pinch hit home run.
Spring training coverage presented by Estrella Jalisco and Window Depot. The home of the Arizona Diamondbacks, Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here. It's always a great week to visit Chapman BMW. This week, it's especially true. The President's Day sale going on all week at Chapman BMW. You can drive off in a brand new 2025 BMW i4 at a lease special of just $399 a month or 2.99% financing while supplies last. That is a great deal on a great vehicle. Kind of proof of what's going on at Chapman BMW this week. Chapman BMW, your premier destination for both luxury and performance. They've got 2 great locations, which means you're going to get the best selection you are going to find in the Valley. You're also going to get a world-class experience. You will feel it the minute you step into either of their locations. From Ted Chapman all the way down, everything they do at Chapman BMW is elite. Now, here's what you also do. Listeners of this radio program, you get the extra hookup. So when you visit Chapman BMW, you take a test drive, you find what you like, then you ask for my guy, Shane O'Hanrahan, GM of both locations, told me to tell you to ask for him by name. He's hooked up a number of our listeners already. You can be next. You can always shop online at ChapmanBMW.com. That's Chapman BMW. 2 great locations, 1 great experience.
Hey basketball fans, Tom Chambers here reminding you that just like in a game, you need a solid defense for your home. And that starts with a reliable roof from Right Way Roofing. Hey Lori, as owner of Right Way Roofing, what sets you apart from the competition?
Our team tackles any roofing challenge from shingles to tile to foam roofing. We'll make sure your roof wins against the toughest opponents, rain, wind, and even those scorching summer days.
Make Right Way Roofing your MVP.
We're Right Way Roofing and we do it right. We'll always keep you watertight.
As we approach this International Women's Day, we proudly honor the incredible contributions of women, shaping the future in our communities, at home, and right here at Morris Hall.
Andrea Klaus, attorney and managing partner of Morris Hall, a premier Arizona estate planning law firm.
Helping families secure their legacies with thoughtful estate planning is our purpose. At Morris Hall, we are proud of the women on our team who bring experience, strength, and compassion to every client interaction. We recognize and celebrate the exceptional perspectives women bring to the table while valuing the collaborative effort of everyone on our team. On behalf of all of us at Morris Hall, I invite you to meet with us for a complimentary estate planning consultation. Together, we can help protect what matters most to you and your family.
For your complimentary consultation, please visit morrishall.com. That's morrishall.com. Morris Hall, celebrating women's leadership and building strong legacies.
Homeowners, while many agents are making very big promises, Carol Royce with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty is famous for her written guarantees. Now, unlike some agents who promise a very unrealistic price just to get your business, Carol's going to provide you an upfront written guarantee to sell your home for 100% of market value. Or Carol's going to pay you the difference. So if you're ready to sell your home in 2025, sell with confidence and for full market value, call Carol Royce today or visit carolhasthebuyers.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Listen up, Basinonians. The President's Day sale at Brooklyn Bedding has been extended. And here's the deal. Now through February 25th, you can get 25% off everything in-store or online. That's right, my young Krug brothers. The best sleep ever on the best mattress ever is just a click away. Or better yet, head on over to one of Brooklyn Bedding's 12 Basin locations and tell them Wolf sent you to get 25% off your entire purchase. For the best sleep ever, get the best mattress ever at Brooklyn Bedding.
D-backs fans get access to flexible ticket plans, exclusive events, postseason priority, and more when you become a D-backs Advantage member. For more info, visit dbacks.com/memberships.
Hey everybody, it's Bernsey. Who will be the reason the Suns would make or miss the playoffs? We'll give you our thoughts on today's Burns and Gambo show, 2 to 6 on Arizona Sports.
We expect a lot out of ourselves individually, and it just hasn't materialized the way we wanted to. It was disappointing to see us play this way, and our fans and people who are watching the game want more from us, but we can't think about that. We got to think about the day ahead of us and trying to get better and figure out how we're going to win the next game and going from there.
That is a reflective Kevin Durant talking with Malika Andrews of ESPN during All-Star Weekend. And matter-of-factly saying, hey, we haven't lived up to expectations. I understand everybody is disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant is at the forefront of it because he is
Kevin Durant.
He is Kevin Durant. He's one of the best players we've seen in our lifetimes. He is the best player on the Phoenix Suns roster. He will get and it comes with the territory. He'll get a bulk of the responsibility for the team underachieving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sit here after watching 54 games of Phoenix Suns basketball and pin all of it on him. This is a team-wide disappointment. But when you consider what went down, trade deadline week, Bick, where the Phoenix Suns at the 11th hour were trying to trade Kevin Durant, and he put up the stop sign. He didn't want to go to Golden State. What happens next? And we touched on it yesterday. We touched on it the week of trade deadline. Is this just a temporary stay now for Kevin Durant in Phoenix? Matt Ishbia made the comments in November. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be here. We're going to sign him to a contract extension.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very, very much in peril right now.
Well, when Matt Ishbia made those comments, he certainly didn't expect the team to be 2 games under 500 at the All-Star break.
Very true.
And so things change, opinions change because teams don't perform the way that they're supposed to. I think, look, this team is a Grayson Allen miracle 3-point shot away from being on a 7-game losing streak.
That's true.
So if you're drumming up optimism for what's going to happen here, good for you. You've got more fortitude than I do. But I will say this: Gambo and Burns and Gambo had a debate yesterday about if you had to slice blame, how would you apportion it between front office, basketball players, and head coach Mike Budenholzer? I was kind of astounded. Gambo said he would blame the players first, then the head coach, then the front office.
Wow, really?
And I thought to myself, wow, you'd put the front office last? And even though Mike Budenholzer has been a disappointment in a lot of ways, he's a basketball coach in the NBA. They don't matter that much, in my opinion. So to me, it's exactly inverted. It's front office, players, head coach.
I mean, they've had 2 different head coaches with 2 different styles over 2 years, and it's exactly the same.
Very similar results.
So it's hard to blame the coach too much.
But again, even if an NBA head coach, this is not breaking news. It's a joke that in the NBA, most of them are just really high-paid chaperones. Now, there's some that do make a difference, and again, I'm being grossly painting with a broad brush here. But to suggest a basketball coach can influence the outcome of a game that much, that's absurd to me.
Yeah, but I think if you zoom out, and the reason why Mike Budenholzer is here is what was viewed to be a failure from the coaching position last year. So that's why they made a change after 1 year. Like, hey, we have the belief was we have the players in place to win. They improved around the edges, around the margins. This roster is better on paper than last year's roster is. So I think all of those things into the mix, maybe the failure to connect with the players to enact change, that is a ding against Mike Budenholzer. But I agree with you.
These are professional athletes. Yes, at some point in time, they need to be engaged by themselves.
This is more. We have 54 games of proof that this is more a roster construction issue than anything else.
That's clearly what it seems like to me, that if you were going to apportion blame, but one thing Gambo did say that I do think a lot of people vibe on is how does a team with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant on it struggle so mightily? How is that possible? Well, I think the answer is nuanced and complicated. And you know my thoughts on it. My thoughts about needing an alpha, needing a team that is more connected, needing a team that burns hotter. There's a lot of factors that I think go into that. But the bottom line is this. We're coming out of this thing. They're starting on the road in San Antonio. Kevin Durant has come out and said, I want to see this thing through. Devin Booker, I hope, is did you see that there was footage of him and Kendall Jenner during the All-Star break?
Did see that?
Yeah.
Aspen?
Uh-huh.
I think Bull was there, too.
Oh, really? Did he go along as the third?
Bull got a lot of run from Shaq during the All-Star game broadcast, too. That's another thing that he was...
He gets a lot of run from everybody.
Yeah, but Shaq was getting a lot of criticism for that, too.
So I hope Devin Booker comes back with a certain kind of fire to him, and maybe they can salvage something. Now, there's a lot of evidence that they can't, and it's because the roster is very, very flawed, that even on the games... when you're getting transcendent performances from the big three or one of them or two of them, that this team is just very vulnerable.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, moving forward, and the consensus is basically what Udonis Haslem says here is the consensus around the league right now.
He out of there. He out of there when the summertime come. I mean, anytime you start referring to the front office as them and the higher-ups and the guys upstairs, then that means there's a disconnect. Because it's usually we and us. So if you're not using those words, then we in the locker room understands what that means. You have separated yourself from the front office. And if you separate yourself from the front office, eventually they're going to separate you from the locker room.
There's a lot of logic in what UD says there.
Let me ask your opinion on something. Do you think that the front office and Matt Ishbia, actually truly decided they looked at the team and said, we can't win with this group, can't win with Kevin Durant. It's time to move on from him. Or do you think that they became so, for lack of a better word, enthralled, obsessed with Jimmy Butler that when they knew that the Bradley Beal thing could not happen after weeks of trying to make it happen, they're like, we need to do this. Okay, Kevin Durant, okay, let's throw. Like, do you think that it was all about Jimmy Butler, or do you think they truly realized they need to move on from Kevin Durant?
I'll take a crack first, Vinny. I think it's more the latter, but I think it's also the fact, as Gamble reported, there were other things involved in that trade. So you were going to get Jimmy Butler, who nobody in the Suns organization believes Jimmy Butler's a better basketball player than Kevin Durant. But I wouldn't blame them for looking at this group and thinking, all right, if we bring in a guy that has all that fire that we lack and we lose KD, but we get some other assets involved here, like Jonathan Kuminga, then I think they're perfect. I think they would have been silly not to have done that trade.
Yeah, I don't think it's an either or, honestly, Jared. I think it's a mixture of both things. There was certainly this enthralling nature about the Jimmy Butler thing. And you're right. He's not a better player than Kevin Durant. Was he viewed as a better ingredient at that point when those talks started? Maybe, to make the stew a little bit spicier.
Yeah.
But is Jimmy Butler coming into Phoenix with the same fervor without Kevin Durant in the mix? When those discussions started, it was Beal's going to be gone, Butler's going to be in, the Suns are going to extend him, and everybody's going to live happily ever after. Well, that's not the way it shook out at the 11th hour. So I wonder if they would have gone down that road, or if Kevin Durant didn't put the stop sign up, what kind of Jimmy Butler would you have? Oh, wow.
Good point.
Now I'm here for 3 years without KD? Great.
And it is interesting to see this offseason when the Suns know they won't be getting back a Jimmy Butler type player, what their appetite is to trade Kevin Durant just for prospects and picks to like the Rockets. Like the Rockets aren't going to give them a superstar back.
No, they don't. I mean, they don't have a superstar to dangle. I mean, it would very much be a prospect.
Wait, you don't want Dylan
trade.
Brooks? All right.
Hey, from what I've seen from the Suns, this is where I am right now. I would take a Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, so would I.
Pat Beverly is not playing in Israel anymore. I would take a Patrick Beverly.
Oh, my goodness. Did I not predict this? Yes, oh, my goodness. Years ago, I predict, but it was a different team then.
Yes.
We had Jay Crowder.
And I never thought it would get to this extreme. But
do you see what you did to Vince Murata, Suns?
Here's the last thing. Do you think Kevin Durant accepted the trade to Golden State, do you think he would have had the same impact on the Warriors that Jimmy Butler has? Do you think Draymond Green would have come out and said, we're winning a championship
I
now?
wondered about that, too. He's so rekindled by Jimmy Butler. I just think there's too much history between those two. That I don't think Draymond Green would have been that effusive about his optimism. There's no way.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Even though I'm sure he would have signed off on that. Because
That's
he was very critical before the trade deadline of what that team had become.
And don't think KD doesn't know that. Don't think KD doesn't know that if the Warriors actually do make a run to the Western Conference Finals, that people are going to go, man, that could have been KD.
Yeah, could have been. Coming up, Rush Hour Reboot, the big stories on this Wednesday with Jarrett Carlin. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2.
That's what they need to do. Go in and figure out how to play better individually and how to play better collectively. Rebound better. Rebound that basketball. Rebound that. Okay, we all get it. It kind of loses a little bit out here at Salt River Fields.
It's an interesting choice to yell rebound that basketball at a baseball practice. Just to paint the picture for everybody.
Yeah.
We're about maybe 25 feet away from where the Diamondbacks players are working on stuff.
Yeah, they're right there, man.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
In celebration of Arizona being the 48th state of the Union and Ford trucks being #1 in sales for 48 straight years, Sanderson Ford is celebrating President's Day with a presidential sale on 848 new vehicles. Net A with savings of $4,800 or more.
Save up to $4,800 on Bronco Sport Badlands. Save up to $10,000 off on F-150, STX, and XLT trucks. And save up to $10,000 off on full-size Bronco Badlands. Sanderson Ford also has 25 quality pre-owned vehicles to choose from, priced at $25,000 or less.
Shop with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense, and see why Sanderson Ford is America's most awarded Ford dealership for complete customer satisfaction. Don't miss the Sanderson Ford Presidential Sale.
Offers on 2024 models and include Ford rebates, Sanderson discounts, and Conquest cash and flex buy discounts you must qualify for. See dealer for details. All offers expire March 3rd, 2025.
Over a half century of excellence in the Valley. That is the Spinato's Pizzeria story. Hey, it's Vince Murata. Spinato's started with one single location in Phoenix in 1974. Now, 51 years later, 6 convenient Valley locations and the official pizza of the Suns and Mercury at PHX Arena. A lot has changed in those 51 years, but not everything. Spinato's still uses the freshest ingredients in all of their family recipes, all their pizzas, all their other dishes, and every guest still treated like a member of the family. Spinato's Family Kitchen is where it all happens. That's where they whip up their signature sweet sauce, their dough, their desserts. Then they deliver to all 6 locations. That ensures guests are enjoying the same great taste and quality wherever they're eating Spinato's. The pizza lineup is legendary. I've got my favorites, the Greek, the Get Meaty, the Veg Out, or you can create your own with your choice of regular cauliflower, gluten-free, or chicken keto crust. Spinato's does more than just pizzas as well. Salad, sandwiches, pastas, calzones, and a great happy hour. North Phoenix, Central Phoenix, Tempe, Scottsdale, Ahwatukee, Gilbert. Wherever you are, there's a Spinato's nearby. For info, events, and menus, check out SpinatosPizzeria.com. Spinato's Pizzeria is food that brings people together.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
At Robbins, these 1 carat total weight natural earrings are $27.95. Diamond Dave price $1,600. At Shane, this 3 carat lab grown bracelet is $2,400. Diamond Dave's only $1,800. At Tiffany, this 1.26 natural engagement ring is $22,100. The same with Diamond Dave, $8,300. Let me say that again, $22,100 in a blue box. Save almost $14,000 with Diamond Dave. Look, I don't say this to be snarky. These are real numbers. With our by appointment, wholesale office, direct importing, in-house design and manufacturing, it's easy to save you hundreds, even tens of thousands of dollars when compared to retail. And it's not just about pricing. We've been and continue to be the go-to for thousands of people for 35 years. It's Diamond Dave to save big time on quality diamonds in natural and lab-grown.
Call Diamond Dave at 480-397-2450 or follow him on Instagram at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. You know, we often hear coaches talk about the importance of the last few minutes of the first half and the first few of the second half. Well, last night was a prime example. Number 5 Houston came into Tempe and beat ASU, and the Cougars closed the first half with a flurry, hitting 7 of 9 shots to take a 16-point lead. It was 47-31 at the half, then went on a 7-0 run in the second half to make it a 23-point game, and that was just too much to overcome. The final, 80-65, Houston wins it. Alston Mason had 26 for ASU. That's a season high. Arizona State has now lost 6 in a row overall, 7 straight at home, and ASU is back on the floor Sunday at Kansas State. You can hear that game here on Arizona Sports 98.7. You know, we've had the NFL Combine, and teams have had prospects in for workouts, and this week some rankings have come out. Fox Sports has ASU's Cam Scatterby rated as the 8th best running back, projected to go in the 3rd round. Cactus League action now. They begin tomorrow. Cubs play the Dodgers in Glendale. The Diamondbacks host the Rockies on Friday afternoon. And this report is brought to you by Morris Hall Estate Planning. Major estate tax increases are coming. Don't regret not planning ahead. The attorneys at Morris Hall can help you maximize what you leave behind for your loved ones. For a complimentary consultation, visit morristrust.com today.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Billy and Mulatto Mornings. Rush Hour Reboot. Rush Hour Reboot. Getting you up to speed on everything happening in sports this morning. Brought to you by Brooklyn Bedding. For the best sleep ever, get the best mattress ever at Brooklyn Bedding.
Hey, hey, hey. It's time for the Rush Hour Reboot.
Where we go through the top stories.
What character was that, Jarrett?
That was a Fat Albert impression for the kids. They're very popular with the kids.
I know,
the cartoon
yeah.
was
Just an awful Fat Albert.
Well,
it's more like, hey, hey, hey.
See?
It's time for the reboot today.
Yeah. That was way better. You're right. I'm humbled by your impression.
Fat Albert rhymed.
Look, if anybody on this show is most like Bill Cosby, that's what we've always said. No.
Can I get you something to drink, Jerry?
No. But yes, this is the Rush Hour Reboot. We'll go through the top stories of the day, and we will start with the NBA and the Phoenix Suns here. David Dennis Jr., an analyst on ESPN, talked about the future of sort of the big three elder statesmen of the NBA and how intrigued he was by how they're going to finish the season in their careers.
It's the swan song thing of Steph, KD, and LeBron. Like, that to me is the most, so maybe it's my own nostalgia I'm talking about that. It's like how these three dudes end up their careers and end up this season now with Jimmy Butler being added to the Warriors, with Luka being added to the Lakers, and KD in this like really interesting purgatory part of his career with a trade impending and where he's going to go next. So to me, it's about these three guys and how they're going to wind up at the end of their careers.
All right.
I have never heard Phoenix be described as really interesting purgatory.
Yeah.
I guess if the shoe fits, huh?
That's where we're at, Mike. Yeah.
Good name for an album.
Limbo Arena could be the name, maybe the new. But start, sit, cut, just sort of more likely to win a championship before their career is over now. LeBron, Curry, KD.
Ooh.
I would start LeBron. I would sit Steph, and I would cut KD.
That's got to be that's got to be the order based on where we are right now in the standings. None of these guys has a lot of sand left in the top part of the hourglass, let's be honest.
Although KD is talking like a guy, I think he would take exception to that. I don't think he views himself in his swan song. I don't. I don't know how many more years he's going to play, but he's not looking at. I don't even know if LeBron is.
I mean, Curry's still really good too. But LeBron, of those three, LeBron is the one that has a young player in his prime that just went to his team.
But I think that there's another interesting way to look at it. Which of those three players do you think has had the most drop-off from the height of their games? I think Kevin Durant's had the least drop-off from the height of his game, as opposed to the other two.
I think LeBron's had the most drop-off just because of how great. He's still great, but he's not great as consistently, and he's the oldest.
But I also think there's been a significant drop-off for Steph Curry. He's not doing Steph Curry things on a regular basis.
So what does that say about Durant, though, that he's still nearly as great as he ever was and having so little impact on winning?
I think you can point back to roster construction in a lot of ways. Not everything, but that's part of it.
Well, staying with Kevin Durant, he was asked how much the Olympics meant to him and why it meant so much, and he got very emotional.
Nah, for sure. For sure, because it's like, I come from neighborhoods where people don't even talk to each other. Like, so much hate in the world, too. It's like, when people get to start laughing and joking for a game of ball, like, it's cool to me. So, like, it get me emotional, dog. My bad. Because it's crazy to see, because, like, it's crazy to see somebody say they travel so long to come see their favorite player play in the Olympics. They spend their money, they bring their whole family. Like, it's just dope to me. The game just saved my life, so it brought me and my family out of a lot of bullshit, so I'm just, like, grateful for it.
Usually a pretty
powerful stuff.
A stoic player, in general, Kevin Durant. Why do you think he got so emotional there, and why do you think the Olympics mean so much to him?
Well, again, I think I know the answer to the latter question because his Olympic career is immaculate. There's nothing to criticize.
Unassailable.
Unassailable. And everything that listen, there is the famous story about after he went to Golden State and was getting destroyed by the media and fans, where he asked his agent, "Well, how did you let me do this?" So we know where Kevin Durant has been emotionally with all of this stuff. I just think it's an immaculate Olympic career that is sort of everything that he's not been able to achieve in terms of acclaim, universal acclaim, in his NBA career.
Yeah. I mean, ask anybody who's followed American Olympic basketball for the last how many years? Who's the greatest American Olympic men's basketball player of all time? You'll get one answer. It's Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
But the other stuff, breaking down about how basketball saved his life, that was powerful stuff, I thought.
Yeah. Okay. Just quickly moving to the Diamondbacks. Mike Hazen spoke yesterday about extending Heraldo Perdomo.
Who?
Jerry Perdomo. And almost pulled the Gambo there. and why he's so respected on the team.
He's very well respected, in my opinion, for the same reason that Corbin and others are very well respected within our clubhouse, is because he prepares as well and works as hard as anyone in our clubhouse. And I think, to me, that's the ultimate sign of respect from player to player.
If I asked you right now, who is the face of the Arizona Diamondbacks going into 2025 season, who would you say?
Ooh, that's a great question. With all due respect to Heraldo Perdomo and his importance, I wouldn't call him the face, because the face of the Diamondbacks would have to be
Corbin
somebody who branches out.
Yeah.
I mean, over Ketel Marte?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think he's the ballyhooed prospect. He came in, rookie of the year, the struggles, the rebounding. Yeah, I think he's the guy.
I think you make a strong argument for it, especially since the Diamondbacks have already rewarded him with a long-term, big money contract. So I guess that takes precedent. Their best player is Ketel Marte. He's the best player at his position in Major League Baseball.
So Corbin Carroll, it's interesting. He basically didn't. He spent the entire offseason at Salt River Fields, just grinding.
He was like the Capital One guy. He even slept there.
Yeah, listen. The day you couldn't post, he walked by and we're like, "You're not a pitcher or a catcher, homie. What you doing here?"
And I know he's not a player, but when they made their World Series run, we remember who the face of the team was.
Let's party! Well, I mean, yes. But that was a different team. It was a younger kind of team. That was a team that needed somebody to be the unifier.
Some things have changed. The terminology hasn't changed. Pitchers and catchers reporting still has all this romance around baseball. It doesn't exist anymore.
It's so stupid.
Voluntary workouts. People still use those terms. They're not voluntary anymore.
It's not here. What it is, it's for people who live in 10 feet of snow.
Yes.
It's places where it's 13 below zero. You hear pitchers and catchers report. It's a signal to your brain that the sun is coming back out soon.
Yeah.
When you were there that day, I think Tori even told you that, like, players have been working out for a month already, getting ready to go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Heraldo who, Jared?
I feel like
you are
sacrilegious, like, to even do the voice anymore, because it brings up nostalgic memories, and I just don't want to do it.
Wow. You've been rebooted.
Thankfully, he didn't have to report the updates of Heraldo Perdomo's contract extension this week. Imagine that.
Yeah, right.
We have been rebooted in our own special way.
My mouth is full of fried chicken. Give it a break.
Yeah. Always. Coming up next, when play in the NBA shuts down, focus always turns to discussions about the face of the league. One player says, "Hey, don't look at me, okay? Fine." We'll get into it next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons.
50 to the players, 25. I'll go 25 and 25. I'll be that fair. 25% to the coach, 25% to the front office. I'm going to keep it simple. Tell me why. There's no way in the world that a team with the talent of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker should be 2 games under 500 and in 10th place.
I had it 40-30-30. 40 players, 30% coaching, 30% front office.
Okay.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons 2 till 6 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Hey, it's Vince Murata back to tell you about Revitalize Weight Loss and Wellness, which is something you need to know about if you're one of the many people out there that has tried to lose weight on your own, whether it's through semaglutide use or through some fad diet that you heard about on TikTok. Revitalize is different. It's a scientific methodology that helps you lose weight naturally with sustainable results. I was one of those people back in 2017, didn't have a plan on how to lose weight, tried it on my own, didn't lose any weight, and I got frustrated. And then I met with the world-class nutrition team from Revitalize, sat down with them in early 2018. We went over their customized approach, their scientific methodology, and their reliance on cutting-edge technology to make those customized plans for every individual. I followed my plan to a T. I reached my goals. I lost 32 pounds. I saw major improvement in other key health areas, including my metabolic efficiency. You can get back on track if you've tried on your own and failed in the past with Revitalize. They're offering their initial consultation and metabolic age analysis for free during the month of February. Revitalize has also revamped their pricing so you can get started no matter your budget. Get back on the road to weight loss and wellness with Revitalize. Call them today at 480-701-8133 or online at revitalizeweightloss.com.
We all could use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Buy 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic Motor Oil and get a $15 gift card after rebate, plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's time to put some presidents back in our wallets during the President's Day sales event going on right now at our Desert Ford dealers. Paul Calvisi here, and take that 2024 Ford Escape, made for the everyday, ready for your getaways. And right now, you can get a Ford Credit Flex Buy with 1.9% APR Ford Credit financing for 66 months, plus $2,000 in Flex Buy cash when you buy a new 2024 Ford Escape during the President's Day sales event. Hey, you're looking for the perfect work truck or maybe a powerful weekend warrior? Ford is the #1 selling truck brand in Arizona. And right now, even better, Ram owners get 3.9% APR financing for 60 months, plus $5,000 cash back on a 2024 Ford F-150, XLT, and STX when you trade in your Ram. But hurry, time is running out on the President's Day sales event going on at our Desert Ford dealers. Click buyfordnow.com. Based on S&P Global Mobility Retail U.S. new vehicle registrations for the truck vehicle type, CYTD October 2024.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 7th through the 9th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Celebrate President's Day with a brand new Chevrolet. All new trucks, SUVs, crossovers, and cars during the Valley Chevy Dealers President's Day sales event. Stop by your Valley Chevy dealers today to check out all the savings on the award-winning lineup.
Come on. I'm burning. Come on. Come on.
Arizona Sports. Floor Burns with Bickley and Murata.
Disclaimer. Legacy talk of faces of leagues and franchises, drives me nuts. But it is relevant right now because play has been shut down in the NBA for the All-Star break. There's a game tonight, one game on the schedule tonight, Lakers and Hornets. Full schedule resumes tomorrow night, including the Suns in San Antonio against the Spurs. But when the whole NBA world converges on one city like it just did for in San Francisco for the All-Star weekend, there's a lot of wide-ranging talk. And Joe Vardon from The Athletic had a poll a very informal poll, but put out the results. One of the questions he asked 14 different players was, who will be the best player in the NBA in 5 years? Victor Wembanyama got the most votes.
All right.
6. A lot of the people who participated in this named teammates or themselves. So, it's again, take it for what it's worth. It's not scientific. Anthony Edwards is getting attention on this because of his answer. He didn't answer himself. There's so many people around the league. We talked about this last year. This bend over backwards Anthony Edwards has got to be the next face of the league. So he said, quote, that's what they got Wemby for. So he was one of the players that voted for Victor Wembanyama.
Right.
So now people are saying, wow, Anthony Edwards doesn't want to be the face of the league. I don't blame him one bit. Who would you say the current face of the NBA is? It's still LeBron.
It's LeBron, correct? Yeah. It's LeBron.
And LeBron is a target. Look, I and I fire away at that target whenever I get the chance. I don't think Anthony Edwards necessarily is mature enough, and I think he understands that right now. But this talk of the face of the NBA can't be a foreign player, that is crap.
Well, Stephen A. Smith doesn't think so. He came out and said he does not believe an international player can be the face of the NBA. He said, quote, I know they're global iconic figures. Their popularity extends globally, but the NBA is an American-born sport. It needs to resonate in America, and if it doesn't resonate in America, then it's not going to matter to America how you resonate beyond, end quote. This is a fascinating subject because this isn't, I agree with you that I don't like talking about legacies because I don't think legacies really exist anymore. But this isn't legacy talk. This is, what does it mean to be the face of the NBA, and would the game be more popular in America if an American-born player was sort of recognized as the best player in the sport? I think when you say who is the face of the game, it's a very nebulous phrase. What does it mean to be the face of the game? You're on NBA 2K?
What changes every year.
What does it really mean? I think what it means is you're the unanimous best player in the game, and we've had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. If he wins the MVP this year, and he should, in my opinion, he's going to be the 8th straight foreign-born player to be MVP.
Is it that many?
It might be. There's a reason why when Anthony Edwards rose up last year in the postseason with the dunks and the trash talk, there was a real premature elevation in his status from a lot of people. But the truth of the matter is, something about that kid spoke to people. And was it because he's American-born? Was it because he's authentic? Whatever you think of Anthony Edwards, what you see is what you get.
True, but if he's not interested in being that guy, and he didn't even come out and say I'm not interested in it, I think he would love it. But again, it's an unofficial title.
Yeah, I don't think it's something it's not something that's handed to you. I don't think it's something that, okay, you're the face of the league now. Go do all these press conferences and be polished with the media. I think it just happens.
And usually when they do try to do that, when they hand it to someone and try to make them the next face of a league, it usually doesn't work out as well. You're right. It has to be organic.
But it works out for LeBron because the whole world saw his ascent from high school. They were showing his high school games on ESPN, for goodness sakes. And he grew into the role, and he's very, very measured about all of it. Now, people don't agree with everything he says or does, but he's the face of the league. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. By the way, if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wins the MVP, it would be the 7th straight year a foreign-born player will have won it. He would become the 4th player to do it.
All right.
Giannis did it twice. Jokic did it 3 times, and Embiid did it once.
Okay.
So the last American-born MVP was 2018 James Harden.
Okay. All right. So that's what I meant. It's been 7 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't even know if it's even important at all. I know that you have always pushed back on the idea of globalism, right? That it's your contention, Jarrett, that the younger generation, they just follow dudes. I don't know. There was something about what Anthony Edwards did last year that there was a reason behind. It wasn't just a media fabrication. There was a reason why he was being prematurely elevated. He was, and I think it has something to do with that.
I agree with you completely. I'm just saying that I think that to a young person, Giannis or Victor Wembanyama, to them is as big a superstar as anyone could possibly be. But as far as in general, who they want to make the face of the league, I think they were definitely trying to push the narrative that Anthony Edwards was going to be, and it had to do with him being a young American star.
Yeah, but again,
they have Cooper Flagg coming in next year.
Yeah,
there's going to be tons of hype around him.
He might be the face of the NBA in 3 years. We don't know. Again, there's a lot of looseness to that term. But if Anthony Edwards was the same exact person with the same exact attitude and the same exact skill set and played for the Minnesota Timberwolves but was born in Ottawa, would people be saying, "Oh, he can't be the face of the league. He's from Canada"? No.
Well, why not SGA then?
It's a global. I mean, because he plays in Oklahoma City. He's compared to Anthony Edwards. He's very quiet. He's just
his game isn't as flashy.
It's not as flashy. I mean, the guy's completely unguardable. He's certainly more accomplished.
I think it definitely has to do with personality, because why isn't Jason Tatum is the best player on the best team, which happens to be the Boston Celtics, and nobody ever says he is the face of the league.
I saw something on social media, and I don't like to be influenced that much by social media, but I saw a video somebody put out on Instagram of 5 instances where Jason Tatum was being completely inauthentic, and it was just him word for word copying famous quotes from other basketball players, almost word for word. Like when they won the title last year, he basically did an impression of Kevin Garnett.
Like as a bit, or he just like is that?
It doesn't seem like it's a bit. It was. I got to see if I can find it. It was pretty fascinating.
In conclusion,
Jason Tatum is a great player.
I don't think Anthony Edwards will have enough team success to ever be the face of the league. That helped LeBron and Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't think they're going to win multiple titles in Minnesota?
They're already
You think he's going to be there long term, Jarrett?
Yeah, well, that's fair.
It's only a matter of time before he and Wemby end up with the Lakers.
And this kind of speaks also to the failure of Zion Williamson. When he was at Duke, he was being hearkened as maybe that dude, that he is going to be the next great NBA star. That compelling
highlights, dunk
highlights, the highlight reel stuff, the personality, the frame, the physicality, the snarl.
The street clothes.
Then a strange thing happened. He doesn't play basketball.
That's also a very key component to this whole thing.
And maybe Ja Morant even had a lane at one point in time.
Yeah, he did.
And then he derailed that for himself.
He had a shot.
Oh, Jarrett.
For goodness sakes.
Oh, Jarrett.
For goodness sakes.
He had a shot.
Big kicks off the second half of the Wednesday show with the blast. Next, it's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
It's another disappointing Sun season. So what do Kellen and Kevin make of the team at the All-Star break? Find out on the Empire of the Suns podcast from Arizona Sports. Press play on the Arizona Sports YouTube channel. The Empire of the Suns podcast is brought to you by Sonic. Live free. Eat Sonic.
Hey folks, we're here for Earnhardt Buick GMC in Mesa. Our buddy General Manager Brad Gunlickson and his entire team are rolling out huge President's Day deals all month long, like low 0.9% APR financing on 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Turbo Max and terrain SUVs. Want to go lower? They can do that. Drive out an all-electric 2025 GMC Hummer SUV at 0% APR for 60 months. All offers require approved credit and end soon. So hurry in to Earnhardt Buick GMC or find it all online at EarnhardtBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade and that ain't no bull.
Most new vehicles include a $998 no bull protection package as an added benefit. Offer includes all applicable incentives on select models. APR terms is limited through GM Financial. 0% for 60 months is $16.67 per month for 1,000 finance based on approved credit. Not all will qualify, plus tax, title, license, and $599 doc fee. See dealer for details. Offer ends 3/3/25.
Global Credit Union. Everything a bank offers, but better. Dave Burns here. With Global Credit Union, you'll see benefits you might not get at a traditional bank, and my favorites, early access to direct deposit funds. You can use your direct deposited paycheck up to 3 days in advance. So treat yourself to better banking this holiday season. Stop into one of their 12 branches or go to globalcu.org to open an account today. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities. Free checking and no monthly maintenance fee. Only apply to core checking accounts. Direct deposit required for early payday. Other fees may apply.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business.
Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it, and will beat any print quote.
Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs.
No problem.
I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens.
Totally.
I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing.
Have not yet.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Only on the CW.
Live
all season.
How you like that, baby?
See NASCAR Xfinity superstars Justin Allgaier and Austin Hill.
Let's go win a championship!
Alongside racing's hungriest up-and-comers.
Oh, timbers are flaring. Tell him I'm coming for him.
That kid is amazing.
It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series on the CW. This week, we're live from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Coverage begins Saturday at 2:30, only on CW7 Arizona.
Channel 7, it's all good.
Golf responsibly with Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale from Four Peaks Brewery, Arizona's #1 craft brewery. Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale is easy to enjoy with subtle notes of passion fruit, orange, and guava flavors and a crisp, refreshing finish. Whether you're enjoying a round of golf or kicking back with friends, Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale is perfect for any occasion. Check out Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale from Four Peaks Brewing at your local restaurant or retailer. Golf responsibly.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
KMVP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. The Houston Cougars came into Desert Financial Arena and showed ASU and its fans why they're a top 5 team. ASU was close for a little bit, but the Cougars closed the first half with a flurry, hitting 7 of 9 shots to take a 16-point lead. It was 47-31 at the break. Then they went on a 7-0 run in the second half to make it a 23-point margin, and that was that. The final was 80-65. ASU has now lost 6 in a row overall, 7 straight at home. They're back on the floor Sunday at Kansas State. You can hear that one here on Arizona Sports 98.7. We're about 7 weeks or so from the NFL draft, the day where lives are changed. The Tennessee Titans hold the first overall pick. The Cardinals draft 16th. They're projected to take defense. You know, the spring is always a good time to get out and watch some baseball because there are more games and more choices in the spring. Cactus League action begins tomorrow. The Diamondbacks play Friday when the D-backs host the Rockies. And the Suns are back on the floor tomorrow after the All-Star break, playing 4 games in 6 days on the road, beginning with San Antonio. The Suns and Spurs will play in Austin, Texas. You can hear all the action on that one here on Arizona Sports 98.7 with tip-off scheduled for 7:30. This report is brought to you by Brooklyn Bedding. The President's Day sale has been extended. Get 30% off in-store and online through February 25th. Find a showroom today or go to brooklynbedding.com.
Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
A very strange thing happened over the weekend. America suddenly wanted its basketball players to be more like hockey players. And that contrast happened because another NBA All-Star game fell flat while an NHL exhibition produced 3 fights in the first 9 seconds. And in the process, it illuminated the widening gap between what athletes want from us and what we want from them. For instance, I get the feeling many NBA players think we should be dazzled by their skill. But what we really want, what we want most is fight. We want intensity. We want passion. We want hard-nosed competitors who show a real love for the game. Now, granted, there was a lot going into that NHL exhibition because of the current geopolitical climate, and we all know hockey players are a bit different. And then there are people who really believe the amount of money top players earn in in the NBA has ruined everything. That you can no longer coach them, you can no longer reach them, and you certainly can't expect them to bust tail in an exhibition. But over the weekend, fans saw athletes in a sport where you have to fight, where you cannot go through the motions, where you have to be willing to leave it all on the ice every single night, and it proved that much of the current NBA has kind of lost that thread, a problem they didn't have when Jordan and Kobe were running the league. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW. Make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
Yeah, I think I've got the key. I think your blast just showed me the way on how to improve the NBA All-Star Weekend.
Put them on ice skates?
No. Threaten heavy tariffs against the team that loses.
Yeah.
I keyed.
No. But again, it's also a thing, too, where a lot of people, there's an NBA player survey on The Athletic, and they ask a sampling of players, what would you do to get a better All-Star game? And the response is pay us more. Fans don't want to hear that.
No, they don't. Certainly, they don't want to hear that because there's already so much money involved. But we stumbled upon this. Part of the reason why is the NHL and what they've done with this Four Nations face-off. They've created the sense of nationalism for these four teams. And when it comes to the two North American teams, they're going to meet tomorrow night in Boston for the championship of this thing. There is a lot on the line. There's the natural rivalry. I mean, when the U.S. plays Canada in hockey in any international competition, over the last 30 years or so, it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good hockey. There was people raving that it was the most intense hockey they've ever seen. Guys in the game were talking about how intense it was.
Well,
so they've created it through the national, the patriotism thing for both countries. Politics aside and what's happening geopolitically aside, that's always going to lend itself to that. The NBA has not done that. But here's the thing, too, is, and I said this to you off the air yesterday, the hockey world is puffing out its chest right now because they got this right.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA, there's a lot of people, and I know Kevin O'Connor was one of them, that said that Adam Silver should be embarrassed. They made something that was bad, and they made it worse. This was the worst All-Star weekend ever. So they're a little embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
When these two leagues get back together, the NBA goes back to being the NBA, and the NHL goes back to being the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's temporary.
Well, you're right about that, but there are people, and I do think there's something to this. I think the people who criticize the NBA, I question their bias. I question where they're coming from. A lot of them, I question if they're even sports fans, and they're just not using this to politicize the game to further divide us. But I also do believe there are things about this current generation of players that fans aren't vibing with, and I think it's everything from load management. Like I said, back in the day, players would demand trades because they weren't getting paid. Now players want to get paid and they demand to get traded. Now, you think fans like that LeBron James can appoint his son on an NBA roster? Do you think they relate to that? No.
No, that's also not commonplace. That's such an extreme example that we'll probably never see again.
But it's also, like I said, when Jordan was the guy in the league, when Kobe was the guy in the league, these were not issues. These issues have all begun with LeBron. It's part of the reason why I do not like LeBron one bit.
And you've said it, and in defense of the NBA, you love the National Basketball Association. I do too. But you hit on something too that is my biggest complaint with the sport as it is. It's not the proliferation of 3-point shots. It's that these guys, as a group, collectively, they don't play through anything.
That's it.
If they're not,
that's it.
If there's something a little bit off, they're not going to play. And that is different from what people our age grew up with watching the NBA, when playing 82 games was expected, not the exception to the rule. That's what bugs me. And when you hold the two sports up and you say wishing NBA players were more like hockey players at this point, I totally can get on board with that, because hockey players still, we've not seen a drop-off. The money's increased in hockey, exponentially over the years. It's still by far the least paying of the four major sports in North America. But the mentality hasn't changed.
The mentality, and people love that.
Yes.
And it was the contrast of that I think really spoke to people. What's interesting, The NBA has got a $77 billion, not million, $billion media rights package coming down the pike over 11 years. It's a ton of money. You'd be hard pressed to convince the NBA they've got issues with that kind of money coming into their coffers. But there are people who look at this and say there needs to be a little bit of a difference here. KD got caught up, as we talked about yesterday, in a social media exchange. Turns out he got into it with the guy who writes for Outkick, which is a website that is largely critical of the NBA for those political reasons that I speak of. Kevin didn't know that, but the guy wrote about it. And what the guy did do that I thought was interesting, because Kevin came out and said, look, if players complain about everything, why don't they just appreciate what we're doing? And he put it back at Kevin. He said, Kevin, do me a favor. You're off today. You've got no game today. Sit down and watch the entire All-Star game. Watch what we did. Watch what we had to watch. Experience what we had to experience. Look at it from our side of the ledger. And he pointed out that in that All-Star game, there were 2 hours and 26 minutes of commercials and segments that had nothing to do with the All-Star game. The game itself, the basketball, 33 minutes and 41 seconds. 2 hours and 26 minutes of commercials and nonsense.
Did you hear the conspiracy theory that's out there?
No.
I don't believe in conspiracy theories 999 times out of 1,000, maybe
this
more
one of
than
them?
that. This one made me think a little bit.
All right.
TNT made All-Star Sunday so unwatchable as a final middle finger to Adam Silver, to what he did by not letting them match the media rights deal. When Amazon came calling, he and people were like, what are you doing at TNT? They've been a trusted partner of yours for a really long time.
Wow.
Now, I'm not saying I believe it, but I believe the part where they made it unwatchable. Even the part where the kid won $100,000 in that Mr. Beast challenge, it went on way too long.
Way too long. Way too long. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the lessons are to be learned from this. I do know that this scene tomorrow night in this rematch between USA and Canada, these ticket prices are through the roof. It's in Boston, which means it's just going to be a rabid atmosphere in there. Because with the NHL, with Canada versus USA in hockey, that's their sport. We've always been the little brother. The NHL is about 29-30% now American-born players. It's an all-time high. Canadians don't like that at all.
No. But to that point, going back to that whole nationalist topic, James Naismith invented basketball. You know what country he was from?
He's from Canada.
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
sorry about spitting the truth there.
Oh, I'm shooting the ball now.
Hey.
Coming up, many baseball fans, including those here in Arizona, are disgusted by what the Dodgers are doing. But don't worry. The commissioner says it's all fair. We'll get into that next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2.
It is incredible right now, honestly. I'm so happy for Heraldo Perdomo receiving this 4-year extension. This guy is one of my favorite Diamondbacks. He starts a lot of rallies. He gets on base in a lot of different ways. He's fundamentally solid with his glove. He's got a clutch gene in him as well. He's respected and loved in the clubhouse.
Perdomo's kind of the one that he just doesn't get as much hype, but he's such a key piece to what they're doing.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Southwest Gas supports the lifestyle of Arizonans. Hey, it's Vince Murata, and whether it's cooking a traditional meal, providing hot water for showers or baths, or creating the ambiance for family gatherings, Southwest Gas proudly fuels our homes and our communities with a safe and reliable natural gas service. Natural gas not only supports lifestyle, it supports economic development. In fact, many large-scale businesses that have expanded operations into Phoenix are dependent on natural gas to support their business and production. Choosing Southwest Gas means choosing an energy provider committed to trust and excellence. Southwest Gas Holdings has been recognized on Newsweek's list of the world's most trustworthy companies, ranking in the top 2% among publicly listed companies worldwide. Time has recognized Southwest Gas Holdings as one of America's best mid-sized companies for 2024 for its commitment to employee satisfaction, revenue growth, and sustainable transparency. Southwest Gas is an energy partner that prioritizes trust, community, reliability, and safety. You can discover more about these recognitions and learn how Southwest Gas is dedicated to excellence in the community by visiting swgas.com.
Celebrate President's Day with a brand new Chevrolet. All new trucks, SUVs, crossovers, and cars during the Valley Chevy Dealers President's Day sales event. Stop by your Valley Chevy dealers today to check out all the savings on the award-winning lineup.
Need inspiration? Shop Fry's for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Fry's. Fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
We've lowered prices. You can save 15% or more on hundreds of items like Thomas Mini Bagels, Campbell's SpaghettiOs, and more. Fry's, fresh for everyone.
If you have old windows, they are probably driving up your energy bills. Upgrade with new windows from the Window Depot. The Window Depot provides unbeatable value and a wide variety of in-stock and custom order windows to fit your style and budget. With our exclusive SI window brand made right here in the USA, you'll get a full lifetime warranty, including glass replacement, for ultimate peace of mind. Order online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you and start your project today. Experience the best prices, the biggest inventory, only at the Window Depot.
While many companies are offering one cash offer for your home, how do you know you're getting the best offer? It's very easy with Carol Royce, your home sold guaranteed realty. Sellers who want to consider a cash offer can sell fast and with certainty with Carol's guaranteed multiple cash offers program. Carol will bring 3 to 6 offers with at least one at 100% of market value, or Carol will pay you the difference. Call Carol Royce today or visit carolhasthebuyers.com. That's carolhasthebuyers.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Wolf here from my brothers and sisters at Santan Ford. That's right, you've heard me talking about my Santan Ford F-150 and the Warrior Queens Expedition and how we are Santan Ford. Well, if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, do yourself a favor. Go check out the hundreds of new and used vehicles at Santan Ford. Located at the Santan 202 in Val Vista in Gilbert, Tim Hovick and the great team at Santan Ford will take care of you. Go to santanford.com. I am Santan Ford.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey, it's Luke. Now that Heraldo Perdomo has been extended, which Arizona Diamondbacks player should receive an extension next? We'll discuss starting at 10 a.m. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports.
Bickley Barada Mornings continues on this Wednesday, Newsmakers Week. We will kick back up into Newsmakers Week. Kenny Dillingham joining us at 8:30. We'll talk Phoenix Mercury basketball. We'll talk Cactus League. We'll talk GCU basketball before the end of the show as well. But yesterday during Newsmakers Week was a lot of featuring the Arizona Diamondbacks. Torey Lovello joined us. Derek Hall joined us. Mike Hazen joined us as well. So a lot of ground covered yesterday, including the Heraldo Perdomo contract extension. One of the things that came up, and you asked Derek Hall this question, Bick, and it's reality, and it's something that I think gets magnified every single year for 4 teams in the National League West, and that is, how do you solve a problem like the Dodgers, who have a lot of resources and have kind of changed the way they're doing business now with $1.8 billion in deferred contracts now on the books. Here was Derek Hall's response about playing in the same division as the Dodgers.
We've got to be comfortable, and we've said in the past we really only have to worry about ourselves. And, you know, it's the same Dodgers and very similar payroll that we competed against 2 years ago when we went to the World Series. So, you know, you just got to take care of your own business, get to the playoffs, and anything can happen in any series. But they do it right as well. I mean, they're generating a lot of revenue, and they put it back into the product on the field, but they also develop well. They scout well. They're a really good organization, you know. And if we had those kind of revenues, we'd spend it too. I mean, we really would. So no, I'm very happy with what we do with our means, and we are stretching it as much as we can. In fact, yesterday, to start the meeting, Ken was introduced first, and he got up, and the whole room was applauding him, all the players and coaches. And I got up after that, and I said, that's the first time this room has clapped for Ken Kendrick. He must be spending a lot of money, which is true and telling. But I was very happy for Ken.
All right, so Derek Hall's obviously not going to bash a division opponent, a franchise he used to work for. And I'm not saying I'm bashing it, but the example that comes to mind, and Derek brings up they're making massive revenues and they're putting those revenues back into the team. Yes and no. For a lot of people, myself included, this is like an 18-year-old college student getting a hold of a credit card and maxing it out and making minimum payments on that card for the rest of time. Doesn't it not smack of that?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it smacks of finding a loophole. It's what all the really good aggressive organizations do, and they found a loophole with all these deferred payments. And
the Diamondbacks are deferring some payments too.
Yeah.
Just nowhere on the scale that the Dodgers. Nobody's doing it on that scale.
No,
and it's a team with massive revenues, which makes it more frustrating.
Yeah, listen, and the truth of the matter is, it's coming at a time when it's so much that that a lot of baseball fans, not just in Arizona but nationally, are disgusted by it. They just think this is not a level playing field. This is not what we want from a sport.
And look, it's been going on for a while with the Dodgers, and before that, the Yankees. The problem is that the Dodgers won. They finally won the World Series by doing this last year. So now it's truly like it feels ickier.
Well, they won in 2020 as well. Much more pronounced last year in a full season, certainly. Rob Manford, the commissioner of baseball, is in town doing Cactus League Media Day, and that was a big topic of discussion, where how teams around the big leagues are dealing with the Dodgers and their spending. Here's what Commissioner Manford said.
Look, I think that the Dodgers have gone out and done everything possible, always within the rules that currently exist, to put the best possible team on the field, and I think that's a great thing for the game. That type of competitive spirit is what people want to see. By the same token, I said this at the owners' meetings, I'll say it again. It's clear that we have fans in some markets that are concerned about the ability of the team in their market to compete with the financial resources of the Dodgers. And I think if we've been consistent on one point, it is we try to listen to our fans on topics like this. And I have heard people on this, believe me. I get a lot of emails about it.
Yeah, look, it's what people are talking about around baseball. Certainly, we're right in the center of it because the Diamondbacks are, with no disrespect to them, the Diamondbacks are the second best team in this division, in my opinion. Padres have had some personnel losses. They're right there, too. But I think the Diamondbacks are the team that's closest to the Dodgers.
I hope you're right.
And from a spending standpoint, it's not that close.
No. Again, it's 378 to 200. So they're dwarf at a time when the Diamondbacks have found every nickel in the couch they can spend. They're still $178 million behind the product the Dodgers are going to put on the field.
Yep.
And it's so you just I guess you have to either there's nothing you can do about it if the commissioner is not going to champion an idea of better competitive economic balance. Then you can't do anything other than to find a different path.
Yeah,
and I think that's what the Diamondbacks are doing, and they're also, as I mentioned earlier, reading one of Kevin Ginkel's quotes, they're really vibing on the idea that last time we faced them in the playoffs, we smoked them, and we feel confident we can do it again.
Yeah, and that's the attitude you have to have when you're a competitor, and I respect that. And Kevin Ginkel's right. We saw it. 3 games. It was an embarrassment of the Dodgers. The Diamondbacks dominated that series and stole their heart, basically.
It was great.
And caused them to start free spending in 2024.
Oh, yeah.
That put together the World Series championship team. Manford was also asked, hey, is a hard salary cap the best way to quell this heavy spending and this disparity?
I'm not going to get into what the answer is yet. We're a year away. I have owners with really strongly held views that I need to coalesce into a position that we ultimately will take to the MLBPA, and I don't think starting that debate publicly is a good start. Whatever we settle on, we're going to present in the collective bargaining process and try to handle it privately with the MLBPA.
And then when you talk about disparity, I mean, look at the Dodgers on one end. I saw a graphic. It's been over a decade since the Pittsburgh Pirates have signed a free agent to a multi-year contract.
Has it really?
Yes. So that's the disparity we're talking about. And I spent some time with a buddy of mine over the weekend who his views on baseball I trust more than anybody I know. He knows the sport in and out from a business standpoint and everything. And he's even so disgusted with what's happening with the Dodgers that he's shifted his focus. I was like, now we need a salary cap. And he's expecting the next CBA negotiations to be incredibly messy. And he suggested there's going to be some substantial time off because of these very issues. Maybe it's, the sky is falling, but there's a lot of people that feel that way.
I would be real careful advising any sport about work stoppages. I think the days of fans forgiving and forgetting and coming back, I think it's over.
Do you remember the amount of strife during COVID when they couldn't get a plan back together to return to play?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
That was messy. That wasn't even a collective bargaining agreement. That was just a return to play plan. Yeah,
I forgot about
you.
that. How messy that was.
We are past the point where labor stoppages. Look, you're going to have most of the people are going to be pro labor always. I get it, but is baseball in a position, or will they be in a position to withstand a work stoppage if things get really testy? I don't know. Arizona Sports is giving you the chance to experience Extra Innings Festival. You can see performances by the Lumineers, Casey Musgraves, Kings of Leon, and many more. Head to the contest page now at arizonasports.com. Presented by Y-Refi for complete details and your chance to win tickets. Coming up next, we continue Newsmakers Week 2025. We'll talk ASU football with the head coach of the Sun Devils, Kenny Dillingham. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
You can listen to Arizona Sports 98.7 all over Arizona, even when you're out of range of our mighty transmitter that sits atop South Mountain. If you've got Wi-Fi or any cell signal, you can hear Arizona Sports live on the Arizona Sports app. Download the Arizona Sports app, presented by Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here. Not that long ago saw a Turf Monsters vehicle rolling through Fountain Hills, and that is because Turf Monsters is everywhere. From Cave Creek to Queen Creek, from Buckeye to Black Canyon City to Apache Junction, wherever you're at, Turf Monsters there waiting for your phone call, ready to build you the backyard of your dreams. Turf Monsters Landscapers, they've been serving satisfied customers in the greater Phoenix area since 2018. They offer a whole bunch of great services, traditional landscaping, leading installer of artificial turf in the valley. If you're looking for hardscapes like patios and sidewalks, they can handle that. Customized fire pits, built-in barbecue grills, state-of-the-art putting greens. No matter what the project, they love helping customers create personalized outdoor retreats. And as of now, you can get 12 months interest-free financing. Schedule your free estimate online at turfmonstersaz.com or just give them a call. Make sure you tell them I sent you. 623-323-3900 for Turf Monsters.
All right, Basinonians, Ron Wolfley here. Don't wait another year wishing you had custom shades. Do what I did and call All Pro Shade Concepts. They're celebrating 20 years in 2025 with free estimates, complimentary installation, and they will cover your sales tax. I use roll-down shades to keep the cold air out and turn my patio into another room. And when summer comes, their retractable awnings block the sun and add backyard shade. Visit allproshadeconcepts.com and tell them Wolf sent you.
Lose weight easier and faster with Red Mountain Weight Loss. Discover the power of semaglutide and tirzepatide, the breakthrough GLP-1 medications that are transforming lives. You lose up to 15 pounds a month without feeling hungry or deprived. And for a limited time only, save $100 on any GLP program and get our lowest prices of the year. Don't wait. Lose up to 15 pounds by this time next month only at Red Mountain Weight Loss. Go to redmountainweightloss.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
When you're in the thick of a project, Harbor Freight is the place that always comes in handy. Whether you're picking up something for your pickup truck or a power tool for your project, at Harbor Freight, your dollar always goes further. And these days, when everything seems to cost more, you can take pride in knowing that you get hard-working tools at hard-working prices. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Why do 80% of NFL players have a Sleep Number smart bed?
Matthew Stafford here with the LA Rams. Because when I get high quality sleep, I make high quality plays. But that's not the only reason.
Hi, me, Kelly Stafford. I'm the other reason. He likes his side firm and cool, and I like my side soft, warm, and cozy.
Sleep Number does that and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting.
You're the number one reason, by the way.
And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com. Official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Well, Suns forward Kevin Durant confirming to ESPN he didn't request a trade. Speaking of the Suns, they return to action tomorrow, playing 4 games in 6 days on the road, beginning tomorrow night against San Antonio and Austin, Texas. You can hear all the action right here on Arizona Sports 98.7 with tip-off scheduled for 7:30. Well, the Sun Devil basketball season continues to spiral into a deep nosedive. Last night in Tempe, number 5 Houston cruised to an 80-65 win, and watching it, the Cougars never seemed to be in trouble. The turning point came late in the first half when Houston took what was a close game and turned it into a blowout, hitting 7 of 9 shots to take a 16-point lead at halftime. Sunday, the Devils play at Kansas State, and you can hear all the action here on Arizona Sports 98.7. Well, it's just about time to go watch some baseball. Cactus League games begin tomorrow. The Cubs play the Dodgers in Glendale on Thursday, and the D-backs host the Rockies on Friday afternoon. The newly acquired Corbin Burns is scheduled to start on the mound for Arizona. And this report is brought to you by APS. Visit APS Solutions for Business for your ways to make smarter use of energy while saving money. Schedule a free consultation today.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona State University.
Yeah, time to talk some ASU football during Newsmakers Week 2025 as we check in with the head coach of the Big 12 champion Sun Devils, Kenny Dillingham, joining us for Newsmakers Week 2025. Kenny, good morning. How are you?
Kenny!
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good. How's I imagine an off season as the Big 12 champion beats the heck out of last year's off season. How's it gone so far for you this off season?
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to both, for sure. I mean, now everybody thinks that, we should just instantaneously, win 12 games, 11 games every year. So that's exciting. But the reality for us is, it's a new season. It was a great season. It was great memories. But we got to move on as a football team. The fans can still celebrate. I'm great about that.
Yeah.
But we have to move on as a program.
You hit on something that a lot of longtime ASU fans, yourself being one, you're very familiar with, and that is the sustaining of success for this football program. Through your eyes now, in your office, what is the biggest key to, in your mind, prevent this from being a blip of success and to sustain it?
Yeah, I think is how do you create the emotional investment that our guys had last year, our staff had last year, the mindset of every game we were counted out. How do you get that emotional investment back again? And it's not back again on Saturday, week 3, week 1. It's back again on Tuesday during gassers. How do you get that emotion back? And I think that's the challenge this offseason is, can we get our guys to be as emotionally invested, our coaches to be as emotionally invested as we were last year? Because I feel like that vulnerability that our guys had last year really bonded them together, and it grew the football team.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to replace. It's a hard thing to duplicate. It's a hard thing to get in any sports team, and you guys were able to pull that off. When you take a look and you're talking with recruits now, what has changed? What did last year do to the perception of ASU football in the minds of people you're recruiting?
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole different, last year it was all, this is our process, this is what we're going to be, this is what we're about. We're about being a good person, we're about making good decisions, we're about having more fun, working harder than anybody in the country. And people said, well, I still want to win. Are fans going to show up? I go to games and they're 50% sold out last year. Like, are fans going to show up? Are you guys going to win? It all sounds good. I like you. This year, we had 2 field rushes. Yeah, fans show up. Great. Are there good environments? Oh, yeah, we sold out. We had the largest student section back-to-back weeks in the history of the program. We have more season ticket sales. Can you guys win? We just did. So all these questions that people had about our program, it's like, okay, well, what about the sanctions? Well, they're over, essentially. We have a little bit left, but it's basically ending. We're just checking boxes of things that usually people kind of tear down this program with. And I think the investment from the community, the fans, season ticket sales, all of that is it's huge. And to be able to show those environments here in Tempe, it's a huge thing when we're talking recruiting.
Kenny Dillingham, the head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils, our guest here during Newsmakers Week. Obviously, the state of college football now is, even after a successful season, I think there's a lot of fans that are holding their breath and wondering, all right, who's going to leave the program? Who's going to be lured away? Yet, after you guys performed so well in the college football playoff, fans were met with this parade of players announcing that they're coming back. And it starts with Sam Levitt, the quarterback, and it continues with Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver. And those guys are so tight. I mean, I see them around town. I attend a Suns game sitting in the front row. What does their partnership/friendship mean to the whole culture for ASU football moving forward, as you see it, Kenny?
Yeah, those 2 guys, Xavier Alford, Skrilla, Ben, Jacob Kandika, CJ Fight, Clayton Smith, Prince Dorba, Crook, Keyshawn. I mean, I could go on with the guys who had opportunities to leave that want to be here. Those 2 particularly, I think they're both guys who nobody knew about Sam, and people knew that Jordan had a good freshman year, but there was a lot of question marks, and they kind of came on the map together. So I think that relationship really built. But what I think it shows with all these guys choosing to come back, and especially nowadays in college sports, is guys can leave whenever they want. So when your best players are really still recruits, so they have a choice to be there or not. So when your best players are choosing to stay here, it means they have real relationships. They really actually enjoy the school. They actually enjoy the city. Like, they actually are members of the community of the Valley. They're one of the people. They're one of us. Like, they want to be here. And I think in today's day and age in college sports, having a group of guys that truly want to be here is pretty special, and I do not take it lightly. I spend more time with our own players than I do recruiting, because I truly believe in that model. I believe that you pour into the people who want to be here, and I think that all these guys coming back is pretty special.
Yeah.
Having a vested coaching staff the way you do, the guys who are doing it for the right reasons, you've talked about the great diversity. You've got some guys who've come from high school and they're ready to sweep the floor for you at the end of practice if you need it. You've got guys like Hines Ward all the way down the line. What does that mean in helping build that special kind of day-to-day bond that you guys had last year?
Yeah, number one thing is good person. Like, one person can ruin a culture. Like, you could take the most beautiful, the best made ice cream. I'm an ice cream guy, as you can probably tell. Right? The best ice cream you've ever eaten in your entire life. And you could take a little bit of Tabasco and put it in that thing and it's over. Like, what happened? And I love Tabasco. But it's over. The ice cream sucks now. So when every single person that is in the organization has to be part of what we envision it to be, and that's what I said earlier, to be a good person making decisions. They have to be in it for the right reasons. And I think we truly have a staff that's like that. And the combination for me is I don't want 30 Kenny Dillinghams here. Like, I don't want that. That's horrible. I want everybody to be themselves, everybody with different backgrounds, everybody with different experiences. That way, this morning, I went into Hines Ward's office and I said, hey, you've done this more than anybody else. You've led a team, right, that had success, and you created a culture. How did you guys, do it again? How did you get your leaders to do it again and work again and believe again? What was that like? And I'm like, I want you to go meet with some of our leaders of this team to, talk about what you did when you were in their shoes in this moment, because I think that's what it's about. It's about stealing knowledge from as many people as you can. And I think we have a lot of different people with a lot of different knowledge that we can just kind of use to make our football team and our program better.
All right, one last question about Cam Scadaboo, because I love him so much. What is going to be the legacy that he left? From what he did the last couple of years, what is going to linger? What's going to help you build upon?
Yeah, I think for him, people are always going to remember his style of play and his passion. I think those are two things that are absolute no-brainers for him. People are going to remember just the old school, rugged, run you over, play super hard, do everything. They're going to remember that. They'll remember some plays, but I think they're going to remember more of an image. This folk hero, this dude who did it all. I think they're just going to remember that, the image of Cam kind of doing everything and being this old school guy that helped one of the best seasons in the history of the program.
Last thing, Kenny, and we've talked to you about your infectious energy for 2 seasons now, and coming off the season that you guys had and capturing the imaginations of this town. How has everyday life changed for Kenny Dillingham just walking around Phoenix?
Yeah, I definitely get, I can still sometimes go incognito, but I definitely get recognized more. I definitely, have more eyes. I'm very aware of people watching me, so I definitely get recognized more. And, I would say my space is probably more limited to now than it was in terms of just being able to go and kind of disappear. That's definitely going away. But that's all a positive.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the longer you're somewhere, they're either going to recognize you for sucking or recognize you for being good. And I'd much rather somebody come over and want to take a photo than somebody look and snap a photo of me, say, this guy sucks, right, and text it to their friends. So hopefully I can continue in that trend and the program can continue in the right direction. So I'm not getting the weird photos taken of me sent in a group chat of this guy sucks, and people come up and, say hello, introduce themselves, and get a photo, and we hang out for a few seconds and then get about the business.
Yep. Kenny, thanks so much for spending some time with us today.
Yeah.
Good to catch up with you.
I appreciate it. Go Devils.
Thanks, Kenny Dillingham, head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils, our guest during Newsmakers Week 2025. Tabasco and ice cream. That would
great analogy.
That would ruin it.
Great analogy.
Coming up next, we continue Newsmakers Week 2025. We'll talk Phoenix Mercury basketball with the general manager. Nick U'Ren joins us straight ahead. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
I am super optimistic about the names that are walking into that clubhouse.
Spring training coverage presented by Estrella Jalisco and Window Depot. Nobody brings you more D-backs than we do. The home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here for Sweet James. By now, you know Sweet James, official accident attorneys of your Phoenix Suns. You've probably seen the video, the commercial of Sweet James dunking a basketball. I do not know if that's really his vertical leap, but I do know this. He and his stable of attorneys, they are great at dunking on the opposition, primarily the insurance companies you are going to be battling if you're ever injured in an accident. Here's what they're going to do for you. They're going to help you get the medical treatment you need so you heal. They're going to help you get your car fixed. Then they're going to go get you the most amount of money possible and the justice you deserve. What sets Sweet James apart is they have one mission, and that is to help you recover mentally, physically, and financially. And their attorneys have extensive trial experience, which gives them great leverage when dealing with those insurance companies. It's why they not only win, they win big. They consistently deliver some of the top settlements in the state. They're the firm you want in your corner in your time of need. 1-800-9-MILLION, 1-800-900-0000, sweetjames.com.
Dave Burns here with Liberty GMC General Manager Chris Scott. Chris, President's Day is coming up, and I hear Liberty GMC is celebrating all month long.
That's right, Dave. Our President's Day sale event is here, and we're offering huge savings for the entire month of February, including $13,750 off the all-new 2024 GMC Sierra 1500. It's a perfect time to upgrade to a new truck with the best deals of the season.
So skip the lines and visit Liberty GMC, or shop and buy online all the time at libertygmcaz.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Looking to upgrade your home? The Window Depot is your go-to spot for Milgard windows and patio doors. Select from a variety of styles, including aluminum, vinyl, or fiberglass, to start your journey to a brighter, more beautiful home. The Window Depot has Milgard windows in stock, ready to go home today, or their team can help you with a special order. Whether you're looking for energy efficiency, aesthetic appeal, or custom solutions, they've got you covered. Build the home you deserve with Milgard windows and doors from the Window Depot. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
In celebration of Arizona being the 48th state of the Union and Ford trucks being #1 in sales for 48 straight years, Sanderson Ford is celebrating President's Day with a presidential sale on 848 new vehicles. Net A with savings of $4,800 or more.
Save up to $4,800 on Bronco Sport Badlands. Save up to $10,000 off on F-150, STX, and XLT trucks. And save up to $10,000 off on full-size Bronco Badlands. Sanderson Ford also has 25 quality pre-owned vehicles to choose from, priced at $25,000 or less.
Shop with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense, and see why Sanderson Ford is America's most awarded Ford dealership for complete customer satisfaction. Don't miss the Sanderson Ford Presidential Sale.
Offers on 2024 models and include Ford rebates, Sanderson discounts, and Conquest cash and flex buy discounts you must qualify for. See dealer for details. All offers expire March 3rd, 2025.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings.
Yeah, Newsmakers Week rolls on here on this Wednesday as we shift our focus to the WNBA and the Phoenix Mercury. I guess we could say the new look Phoenix Mercury.
Oh,
that's an understatement.
that.
And the architect of this new look, the general manager of the Mercury, Nick U'Ren, joins us here on Newsmakers Week 2025. Nick, thanks so much for the time. How are you today?
Thanks, guys. Good to be here.
I guess if there's a theme, I'll go old school Batman and Robin. Holy roster turnover, Batman. Tell us about the changes, how you're feeling about the construction of this roster.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Really excited about what this team can look like and what we're going to look like moving forward. We were able to swing a couple trades in the offseason, brought in Alyssa Thomas, who is a perennial MVP candidate. somebody who's, one of the most versatile players in our league. And then added Satu Sabali as well in a young player. Those players of her age and caliber just don't come available very often in our league. So the chance to add her talent, I'll use the word versatility again. She can impact the game in so many ways. And so to add those two to Kalia Copper, who's still with us, we feel like we've got, 3 of the top players in the league all on one team, and we're very excited about it.
All right, obviously the Diana Taurasi thing is still lingering. Is she mulling retirement? Can you give any clarity on what Diana's plans are?
Yeah, I don't have much of a comment. I don't have much more information than you guys do. That's her decision to make. Obviously, we go on and on about her impact on the team and what she's meant to the community and the league. She's the greatest of all time. That's a extremely personal decision. It's something that shouldn't be taken lightly, and she'll make it in due time.
Would you say there's a door still open for Diana should she want to return, Nick?
She and her agent and I speak all the time, and I think that, like I said, that's a decision she'll have to make in her own time, but she'll always have a place in our organization one way or another.
I know the addition of Kalia was big last year, and you guys were sidetracked by injuries. Also, though, this is really, as Vinny said, not only changing, but this is the end of an era with Brittany Griner going off to Atlanta, and then possibly Diana, exiting the WNBA as the greatest of all time. Your vision for what you want this team and this program to look like going forward. In a perfect world, if all these moves work, what do you want this team to look like?
Yeah, I think we'll have a chance to play a lot faster. I think we'll have players that can play multiple positions. I think you'll see players that can grab the rebound, push in transition, shooters fill in the wings around them. So I think you'll see a high pace. You'll see hopefully high scoring, a lot of shooting, a lot of movement, a lot of cutting, and then a ton of activity on the defensive end. And so I am excited for sort of how mobile and fluid and quick this team can play.
Nick U'Ren, the general manager of the Phoenix Mercury, our guest during Newsmakers Week. In terms of the roster turnover, as a general manager, and I know it was your first year on the job last year, you guys showed a 10-game improvement over the year prior in your first year. Didn't accomplish what you wanted to, I'm sure. But how difficult is it to come to the conclusion that you're going to end the tenure of some popular players? Or was that just dictated by the lack of team success?
These decisions are never easy. They're never made in a vacuum. And as you guys know in professional sports, free agency, turning the page on an organization can take so many twists and turns. So you can have one plan going into free agency or into an off season, and you have to be nimble. You have to pivot quickly. And so I was really happy with our team last year in terms of the success we had and the improvement we made from the year prior. And now it's time to take another step. And this is the best way we thought we could do that. But it's never easy. Brittany and Diana have been stalwarts of this organization, and their place in our franchise's history and in the league's history will always be as Phoenix Mercury members, the way they treated people on and off the court and the impact they had on the community and on the team's success for years and years before I got here. So they will always be part of our organization. And now we're really excited about what comes next.
All right, I know before she came to the Mercury, Satu Sabali was talking about ownership piece, the level of care from the ownership about the W was going to be a big deal where she wanted to be. Clearly, this is something where Matt Ishbia has been a big asset for you with the facility and the willingness to invest in the product. And clearly he cares. He makes sure that he mentions the Mercury anytime he talks about the basketball programs he's operating. The impact of Matt Ishbia on the Mercury, what is it, Nick?
Yeah, humongous. I mean, we're at such a crossroads in this league and such an exciting time where the league is exploding. And, players in this league deserve to be treated like the professional athletes that they are. And I think for years, outstanding women's players have, had to put up with conditions and resources that were substandard. And so Matt's willingness to give us every resource we could ever want, from the practice facility to staff behind the scenes to whatever it is, without batting an eye, I think we're seeing that in terms of players wanting to come play here because of the way he's operated this team in a short amount of time. So super proud to be a part of that, because I guess I'll be repeating myself, but these athletes deserve to be treated like the professionals they are, and I think they're getting that here in Phoenix.
And I don't think that is consistent throughout the league yet. I think league-wide, Nick, and you probably would agree, you're going to see the improvement in facilities around the league. But how important is it for the Mercury to strike while the iron is hot with the newness of the Player 15 group facility, and that being such an advantage that other franchises really can't offer free agents or prospective players to be here?
No doubt. And hopefully it's a rising tide lifts all ships type of thing where, some of these other teams have to get on board and improve their facilities, or else they'll just fall behind too much. But we absolutely want to strike while the iron's hot, and especially heading into 2026, which is a huge offseason with the new CBA coming into effect. I think you'll see player salaries increasing. And so we wanted to show the league what we were all about ahead of that, so that in a really pivotal offseason next year, hopefully we can be positioned well.
In terms of the league, big picture, league-wide, there was a lot of talent that moved around, and it seemed like there was maybe a little bit of a top-heavy feel in the league last year, and I think a lot of the talent has evened out. Would you agree with that assessment? Do you think this is more of a top-to-bottom strong league as opposed to what it was last year?
Yeah, I think so. This is like such a competitive league, coming over from the NBA side where there's 30 teams, but you've got some nights where you can kind of coast through and catch a win against a bad team. There are no easy nights in the W, and I think that, to your point, I think it'll be even more so this year, and even more so continuing as this league grows. It's such an exciting time to be a fan of the W.
Well, Nick, congratulations. You guys are getting a lot of kudos for what you did in the offseason. Can't wait to see what this year's Mercury team looks like, and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, fellas. Have a great day. Thanks for having me.
Thanks you too. Nick U'Ren, the general manager of the Phoenix Mercury, who made some sweeping changes. You want to look at year to year roster, there's not a whole lot of players that are back from last year.
No, and you know what? It almost feels like, and again, I'm not sure what Diana is what she's still mulling over, but it's getting to be Larry Fitzgerald-esque, isn't it?
I certainly have that example in my head when you were asking the questions about Diana.
She's like, do I really want to learn the name of every new teammate on my...
Yeah.
Thanks to Nick U'Ren for joining us. We'll have Bryce Drew, the head coach of the GCU basketball team, coming in studio on the 9 o'clock hour for Newsmakers Week. But the 9 o'clock hour kicks off next. Jarrett's going to take us through some social studies here on Bickley and Murata Mornings, Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2.
That's what they need to do. Go in and figure out how to play better individually and how to play better collectively. Rebound better. Rebound that basketball. Rebound that. Okay, we all get it. It kind of loses a little bit out here at Salt River Fields.
It's an interesting choice to yell rebound that basketball at a baseball practice. Just to paint the picture for everybody.
Yeah.
We're about maybe 25 feet away from where the Diamondbacks players are working on stuff.
Yeah, they're right there, man.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here. Many months ago, or if you were cruising through Fountain Hills, you would have seen a Waltz van right in front of my house, and that is because my guy Bear, one of the Henley brothers who runs and operates Waltz, he was at my house, brought me an 83-inch OLED television, a soundbar so good that it doubles as my in-house stereo, and just like that, bam, they took my entertainment center and my fandom to the very next level. In fact, had family in town this week. They came downstairs, they saw my setup, and they said, man, you have got the hookup. Indeed, I do. Waltz can hook you up as well. They've been around since 1957. They're a Valley institution. They offer major name brands, great selection, all the big screen televisions you could ever hope for. If you want to go really big, they've got a 115-inch television in their theater room. You can check that out. Great selection of audio components. When you put the right combination together, you will have magic. When you shop at Waltz, remember to drop my name. You're going to get a 3-year warranty for free or 10% off installation labor. They also price match, which underscores the following: Waltz competitive pricing, as good as the big box stores. No reason not to head on down to Waltz. You can find them off the I-10 in Warner, right behind the IKEA, or for more information, just call 480-968-4999. Shop local, shop Waltz.
Golf isn't usually seen as a contact sport, but when today's golfers drive the ball more than 3 football fields in distance, they twist their spines with a force similar to being ejected by a military aircraft. Back injuries are to golf what a concussion is to football, and 1/3 of golfers need care for spine injuries. The Barrow Neurological Institute Spine Program offers minimally invasive surgery to help you get back to your game sooner. Get an opinion at barrowneuro.org/golf. Barrow Neurological Institute, minding what matters most.
As we approach this International Women's Day, we proudly honor the incredible contributions of women, shaping the future in our communities, at home, and right here at Morris Hall.
Andrea Klaus, attorney and managing partner of Morris Hall, a premier Arizona estate planning law firm.
Helping families secure their legacies with thoughtful estate planning is our purpose. At Morris Hall, we are proud of the women on our team who bring experience, strength, and compassion to every client interaction. We recognize and celebrate the exceptional perspectives women bring to the table while valuing the collaborative effort of everyone on our team. On behalf of all of us at Morris Hall, I invite you to meet with us for a complimentary estate planning consultation. Together, we can help protect what matters most to you and your family.
For your complimentary consultation, please visit morrishall.com. That's morrishall.com. Morris Hall, celebrating women's leadership and building strong legacies.
Right now, somewhere in Arizona, somebody just paid way too much for a new AC unit. Don't let that be you. For the month of February, Precision Air and Plumbing will beat any apples-to-apples conventional quote from any licensed contractor, and we'll give you the #1 ranked installation in the state. Present us with any quote from 2025, and we'll beat it. But act fast. This deal won't last forever. Call us today at 602-FIX-MY-AC.
Precision decision with Precision Air.
Making choices in the morning can be a bit much. I just want someone to say sausage or egg and cheese biscuit, sausage and cheese or egg and cheese English muffin, small seasoned potatoes, or medium hot coffee. Get 2 for only $3. At Wendy's, fresh made food means simple choices. Dare we say it's even a little fun? Okay, not like roller coaster fun. There's only so much we can do, people. When you want less thinky and more brekky in the morning, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
KMBP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Number 5 Houston came into Tempe and beat ASU 80-65. The Cougars closed the first half hitting 7 of 9 shots to take a 16-point lead at the break. Then went on a 7-0 run in the second half to make it a 23-point margin. ASU is back on the floor Sunday at Kansas State, and you can hear all the action here on Arizona Sports 98.7. We've already had the NFL Combine. Now there's some private workouts, and this week some rankings have come out for college players headed to the NFL Draft in late April. Fox Sports has ASU's Cam Scadaboo rated as the 8th best running back prospect, and he's projected to go in the 3rd round. The draft kicks off Thursday, April 24th. And Cactus League games begin tomorrow as the Cubs play the Dodgers in Glendale. The Diamondbacks start action on Friday when they host the Rockies. This report is brought to you by Brooklyn Betting. The President's Day sale has been extended. Get 30% off in-store and online through February 25th. Find a showroom today or go to brooklynbetting.com.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley and Murata Mornings. Social Studies. Brought to you by HigherPrice.com. Carol Royce, your home sold guaranteed realty.
Time for some social studies with Jarrett Carlin, our master of ceremony. Wow. What's less than a master of ceremonies? A guy of ceremony?
Fella of ceremonies.
Fellow of ceremonies, Jared Carlin. What do you got for us today, Jared?
We are on social media all across the World Wide Web, as it's known to the kids. We are on X/Twitter, Bickley_Murata. We're on Blue Sky. We are on Instagram, and we are on Facebook at Bickley and Murata. You can see videos from the show. Lots of great videos this week, especially with Newsmakers Week. Everyone on video and in studio and stuff. But also you can answer poll questions, you can interact with us, and you can participate in social studies where we'll go through everything. First question, Phoenix Suns are about to re-enter the basketball world. Okay, they're about to start playing games again after the All-Star break. Starting tomorrow. Suns fans, what player are you most interested in watching during the final stretch of the season? To see what he does, and why is that?
It is unequivocally Kevin Durant. He's got the murkiest future now of all the players that are worth watching for the Suns the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you kind of hit on a question earlier, Bick, like what is the belief level that Kevin Durant can win here, that he feels like he can win here, whether it's over these 28 games to get the Suns into the postseason, or whether there's a change of heart. Everybody's suggesting that he's going to get traded in the offseason. Anything happen in these 28 games, win or lose, that convinces Kevin Durant and or the Phoenix Suns that they do have a long-term partnership in place.
That's it. Yeah. I'm curious if that tie hasn't already been severed in KD's mind. But I do agree. It's KD and Book in that order, 1 and 2, in terms of what you're going to see from them. Because I do agree, there's a level of shame and embarrassment that would go with missing the playoffs entirely. There would be a level of shame in being called the worst super team ever assembled. And I'd like to see, I'm curious to see through their play and their effort what they think about that.
Yeah, and it's a combination of KD, someone sort of wasting a year at the tail end of their career, and Devin Booker wasting a year in their prime if everything fails like that. Cody agrees with KD. I want to see how urgent he is and how he leads. Brian says he's watching KD, but it's because he sounds like he might find a new home this summer, and you don't often get to see one of the all-time greats on your team, so he wants to appreciate that. It's unimportant, says Bull, and KD. Bull, because his potential is off the charts. If he gets a rhythm, we could be good. And KD, because he might not be here next year, I hope he stays engaged because I love watching him play. And then Dante says the whole team. Do they shrink in the home stretch and just pack it in? Or do they fight and battle to the end and leave it all on the court and show the first half was a fluke? That'd be interesting, I guess, to see sort of how the pride that this team shows during this
certainly.
stretch.
Outside of the player question, if there's an ingredient you're looking for, pride is certainly near the top of the list.
Yep. All right, let's go to the Diamondbacks because a big question, one that you posed to Torey Lovello, and he didn't kind of answer it, but he did say it was a decision he had to make, was who is going to be the opening day starting pitcher. So I asked the D-backs fans, who would you start on opening day and why? I gave 3 options, Corbin Burnes, Zach Gallen, or Merrill Kelly, but I guess realistically it's between Burnes and Gallen.
Yeah, I mean, what Torey said yesterday, after we talked to him, the announcement came out that Corbin Burnes is going to start the spring training opener on Friday. And what Torey said was he expects to be, and paraphrasing, he expects to be on the mound day 1, inning 1. That's what he's used to. That to me is an indication that if all goes well, Corbin Burnes is going to be the opening day starter. And I think that's probably the way it should be.
I think it is the way it should be, and I think it's the way it should go. If Corbin Burnes is recognized as the best pitcher on the staff, and I think he is, then I think this is the time you turn that page and you begin a new era by giving him the ball on opening day. It's largely ceremonial, but it does matter. But I think that would be a good way of kind of ushering in a better, more powerful era at Chase Field.
Yeah. Show off your new toy early.
Yeah.
Now, it's very close, and I may have sort of skewered it by including Merrill Kelly because it's 50.7% Corbin Burnes, 43.3% Zach Gallen, 6% Merrill Kelly. So maybe without him, it would have been almost 50-50. But the comments, a lot of people over on Blue Sky, Seebacher says you go with Gallen because it's a contract year and you need to keep him as happy as possible. It probably won't help, but players do like to be coddled. Jim says go with the milkman because 162 is a long season, so starting with Gallen makes sense to respect his place with the team. JJ says you go with Gallen to keep the clubhouse. Kiernan, oh baby, says,
baby!
They will always want to start the shiny and new. Too big a splash not to start Burns, but Gallen is great, but we're finally fortunate enough to say we have more than one ace. They really might have 3 aces, depending on. And I want to get to this last one because this is a lot of great answers here. We started the show by talking about a player, Dustin May, was it?
Yes.
That was injured by lettuce. Taken down by a salad.
Which is amazing, too. If you branch out on the term lettuce, it's kind of a slang term for hair these days. Dustin May's got some of the most impressive lettuce in baseball.
Sure does.
The old red lettuce, right?
Red lettuce, yeah.
Well, I asked, what is your craziest story involving food? You guys kind of mentioned a few early on. Do you have any other ones you want to?
No.
All right, here's some good ones here. Ross Vegas. I was alone in my apartment and eating pork. A chunk completely blocked my breathing. Oof. Since I was a fireman, I gave myself the Heimlich maneuver over a chair. It came out with the sound of a pop. No joke, I picked it up and ate that evil piece of meat.
Come on.
I won.
Oh, come on.
Here's a crazy one. Ryan says, worked at a drive-thru. I cut my hand closing it one day, so my manager in his infinite wisdom told me to go make tacos. I wrapped my finger in like 6 Band-Aids before we got a huge order of tacos. After stuffing lettuce and cheese in about 20 tacos, I noticed the Band-Aids were gone.
That's brutal. Yuck.
I almost got killed by a pine nut once.
Really?
I ordered a sandwich once at a very famous Phoenix sandwich shop years and years ago, and I didn't know there was pine nuts in the sandwich. And I took this big bite, and one of them, it was not a good scene.
Wow. Z-Man, in Japan on a business trip, the meal included freshly prepared raw chicken.
Yum.
Going home the morning after, and all I could think about was how far away the toilet was from my seat. And then finally, this is a good one, a heartwarming one. Brian says, when my son was 2, he was choking on a strawberry. I tried back blows because he was too small to Heimlich, and it wouldn't come out. He started to turn cyanotic. I'm not sure of that term.
Blue.
So I resorted to finger sweep in his throat, and I got it out. His crying was the best sound I've ever heard.
Wow.
That's
scary.
Yep.
That's horrifying for a parent.
Oh, man, absolutely. There you go. So keep sending us on Blue Sky, Bickley and Murata, and on Twitter, Bickley and Murata. Keep sending us your answers for everything, and that is Social Studies.
Thank you, Jared. Social Studies every day at 9 o'clock. Newsmakers Week rolls on. We will talk GCU basketball as they're coming down the home stretch of their season. Bryce Drew, the head coach, joins us next.
Here are the top 3 headlines on ArizonaSports.com, presented by Y-Refi. I'm Kevin Zimmerman. Kevin Durant says he didn't ask for a trade from Phoenix, and he points to the front office in doing so. ASU's no targeting call against Texas was the worst officiating call of 2024, says On3, and the Diamondbacks plan to start Corbin Burns in their spring training opener. Those are your top 3 headlines on ArizonaSports.com, presented by Y-Refi.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here. New Life Dental Implant Center isn't just in the business of giving you a new smile. They're in the business of giving you your dignity back, your happiness back. So many of their clients with a brand new smile, brand new set of dental implants, they feel whole again. If this is for you, I've got some great news about New Life Dental Implant Center. They are revolutionizing the way people think about dental implants. They're making it easier, faster, more affordable than ever with their digital digital scanning. Their team uses state-of-the-art software to design a custom treatment plan tailored to your unique anatomy. Every detail carefully planned out to ensure accuracy and success. Using guided surgical techniques, your implants are placed with precision. Minimal discomfort. Temporary teeth are provided the very next day, so you begin healing with a confident smile. They're truly vibing on becoming the most affordable option you are going to find in the industry. Currently offering all-on-4 dental implants for just $99.90 per arch. If you've been in the market, you know that is a fantastic price. No hidden fees, no surprise costs, 0% financing available with New Life Dental Implant Center. That new smile, that new you, just one phone call away. 602-855-0000, online at newsmilearizona.com.
Golf responsibly with Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale from Four Peaks Brewing, Arizona's #1 craft brewery. Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale is easy to enjoy. Subtle notes of passion fruit, orange, and guava flavors, and a crisp, refreshing finish. Check out Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale at your local restaurant or retailer. Golf responsibly.
Hey, Wolf here from my brothers and sisters at Santan Ford. That's right, you've heard me talking about my Santan Ford F-150 and the Warrior Queens Expedition, and how we are Santan Ford. Well, if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, do yourself a favor. Go check out the hundreds of new and used vehicles at Santan Ford. Located at the Santan 202 in Val Vista in Gilbert, Tim Hovick and the great team at Santan Ford will take care of you. Go to santanford.com. I am Santan Ford.
Watch all D-backs games both live and on demand with the D-backs TV subscription. Start your 7-day free trial today by registering at D-backs TV. Visit dbacks.com/watch to learn more.
Hey, GCU fans, did you know that Dignity Health is your official healthcare partner? That means we can help you get back in the game. Whether you're a student, an elite athlete, or a weekend warrior, we're the ones you can count on every time when it comes to your everyday health. Make sure you keep Dignity Health on your roster, regardless of the season. Find a provider or learn more at dignityhealth.org/GCU. Go Lopes! Hello, human kindness.
America. We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. By honoring your sacred vocation of business, you impact your family, your friends, and your community. At Grand Canyon University, our MBA degree program is 100% online, with emphases in business analytics and finance to help you reach your goals. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Hey, son, what you doing?
Looking around for jobs, offices, 9 to 5. I don't want anything boring.
You know, Brian's son is in the Phoenix Police Academy. Pretty sure he's not bored.
I never thought of that.
Check out joinphxpd.com and take a look.
Over 80 specialty details like detective and canine handler. What else? Dignitary protection, 911 operator? They have aviation and dive team jobs?
Rise to serve. Find more today at joinphxpd.com. Protect and serve with the elite.
Sponsored by the City of Phoenix.
Hi, this is Duke Brennan, starting center for Grand Canyon University. GCU is proud to partner with CopperPoint Insurance Companies on behalf of our shared values of compassion, collaboration, and excellence. For nearly 100 years, CopperPoint has been serving our community with unmatched insurance expertise and a commitment to doing what's right. Together with GCU, they support students in discovering their purpose. Each year, CopperPoint and their dedicated employees make a difference through volunteerism, generous contributions, and corporate matching. CopperPoint Insurance Companies, where service meets heart. Join us in making a positive impact.
Arizona Sports. Bickley and Murata talk Grand Canyon University men's hoops with the head coach. This is the Bryce Drew Show, presented by Global Credit Union. Proud to be GCU's official financial partner and the only place to get your official Lopes debit card.
We continue Newsmakers Week 2025 with Bryce Drew, head coach of GCU basketball, normally on video, in studio now for his weekly visit. It's a special time.
See, I told you he was a great guy, isn't he?
Bryce, thanks for coming in. Good to see you.
Thank you, Bryce.
Hey, great seeing you guys.
Coming off a good weekend. Road trip in Texas, 2 wins. Tell us how you're feeling about things.
Yeah, I feel a lot better than I did last week. After wins, you sleep a little bit better. Practices are a little bit better. Obviously, more energy in the building. So hard to go to Texas to play. Some hard environments. Very thankful to come home 2-0.
You were down by 7 points with 6.5 minutes to go against UT Arlington, and I thought, uh-oh. And you guys responded with some really clutch basketball. You scored on your final 12 possessions. What did that clutch time performance tell you about this group? That's got to be a good sign.
Yeah, no question. We left, the court and went in the locker room, and I told our team I thought it was the best, 5 minutes we've played all year. And, we had a couple guys, put on their cape the last 5 minutes. Tyon Ray, Jacoby made some big plays, and it was really great to see just the energy with the team. It was probably the best team celebration we had in the locker room after the game, and so really encouraging.
Yeah.
As you know, sports is such a thing of momentum.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of wish you had another game a couple days later. Unfortunately, we got to wait a week, but hopefully we can bottle those 5 minutes because they were really fun to be part of.
Well, there are rumors that you actually joined that post-game team dance party.
I thanked our players for holding on to me and giving me rhythm for a couple minutes.
Whatever works.
Because on my own, I'm not very good.
Well, one of the things that stands out to me, Bryce, and since we've been talking to you all year, is your team responds to losses. You had the back-to-back losses, then you got into conference play, you reeled off some wins. Most recently, the Cal Baptist loss, you responded with 2 wins on the road in Texas. What can you say about your team's ability to bounce back from
I
an
think
L?
that does speak to their character. They feel when we got hit, they didn't like the feeling. They wanted to change the feeling. Usually we've gone out, like you said, and we've had some really good games, after those. But as a coach, you try to put the formula together. How can we not get to that point? How can we kind of keep riding the wave? And right now, we're at the tail end of the season, and we're coming off 2 games we're really pleased about. How do we stay at the top of that, wave and keep the momentum going?
Tyon Grant Foster, he found his shot in January after a rough, real couple of months early, and it looks now like he's got his swagger back as well. Making any number of really big plays in those games in Texas. Your thoughts on where he's at and what it means for the Lopes?
Yeah, we saw how dynamic he was the whole year last year, and we're definitely seeing glimpses of that. Again, I thought the last 5 minutes was not only great for our team, but his best 5 minutes, of the season, just on both ends, how engaged he was, the plays he was making. It was very reminiscent of last year and the plays that he made for us. So I know we're all really encouraged. Again, you want to play your best basketball in March. We've talked about that all year, and we're definitely trending that way right now after these 2 games. And, we won 6 in a row before the previous one. So we're excited where we are. Saturday will be a big test to see if we can keep it going.
Bryce Drew, head coach of the GCU Lopes, our guest in studio for his weekly visit during Newsmakers Week 2025. Staying on Tyon, I was looking this morning at his non-conference to conference splits, just the shooting percentages. And it seemed like we were asking you every week, but what's going on with Tyon Grant Foster? Do you think part of that turnaround is A, conditioning, or B, familiarity with conference foes, that he just felt more comfortable playing against those teams once you got into WAC play?
Yeah, I think there's a ton you could put into there. You could probably put in some expectations. You could probably put in some that he isn't in the NBA right now, but came back to college for one more year. You could definitely put in some conditioning, I think, in there, and then also as season winds down, that urgency kicks in even more. And I know he wants to win. He wants to finish this year strong, and he's definitely on a path to rewrite the beginning of the year and write it different for the end.
Now, as an NCAA tournament hero back in the day, and you were, and I'll bet you there are still battles in your family as to what was more impressive, the play your father drew up or the shot that you happened to make on it. It beat Rob Evans before he came to ASU.
Yep.
What do your personal experience about playing well and winning in the NCAA tournament? What are the commonalities? What do you have to do well to succeed in that environment, and how close do you think your team is to being that team?
Yeah, I think we're definitely built, to be able to succeed, in March. We have experience, we have positional size, we have guys that have done it before, and so they're proven. Obviously, the hardest part is getting there, but I think the most important, and we've talked about this, is everything we're playing for is still ahead of us, and how you finish is what people remember. Not how you begin. And, we can rewrite, Tyon can rewrite a lot of what happened in the first month of the season. We can rewrite it, how we finished the last month of the season. So all eyes are focused ahead. I think our team is feeling the energy that we're starting to play more together and play more at a level that we expect on a daily basis.
Yeah, I want to focus on the getting there part because and I've never met a coach in any sport that doesn't say, hey, we're focused on the next opponent one day at a time. But with this being your last year in the WAC, how important is it for GCU basketball to leave that conference as the upper echelon king of the hill and win that tournament again?
Yeah, we definitely want to. That's been the goal since the buzzer went off last year at the end of the season was to win the WAC and get back to the NCAA tournament. So you make a great point. All coaches, we definitely look to the next. I think one thing you see going around in sports too is you see a lot of players, especially they'll be like, hey, we're okay, coach. And from a coaching standpoint, when you lose, like, no, we're not okay. like things have to change. Like we got to get way better instantly. And so that's been one dynamic this year. I think it's been different. Is we have been changing stuff up quite a bit. Mm-hmm. I know we've talked about that too. Is trying to find that mix, and it is a different team than last year. And again, I think they're getting a little bit more comfortable. In their roles, and just that we are a different team than we were last year.
Yeah, recently you guys have been having issues with turnovers, and that's kind of the thing that dogs you a little bit. What is that? Just lack of in-game focus? What do you think that is?
Yeah, I definitely think focus is 100%, part of it, and then others is just carelessness. Yeah. Just being a little bit too free with the ball and not being a little bit tighter and making better decisions. So it's very hard to have 22 turnovers and win on the road. Yeah. Very thankful we did. We don't want to duplicate that model in the future. And I think last game we were much better. And hopefully being back home will help us take care of the ball better too.
19-6 at this point, 9-2 in conference going into this game against Cal Baptist. Where do you think from the time the season started, Bryce, where do you think your team has improved the most?
I think definitely with being connected. We have a lot of very good individual talented players, but individual talent can get you beat and have you not look very good at times. And I think the more they're understanding that the better we play together, the better we move the ball, the better we play defense together, all correlates into just a better product and a better version of our team on the court.
All right, let's dial out a bit. You've got a great ally in President Brian Mueller, who was a basketball coach himself back in the day. Obviously, the resources of Jerry Colangelo and the contacts are extremely valuable. You guys have a great story in progress. The story of GCU basketball, it's a great story. The havocs, everything that you've built and the steps that you've taken. How do you keep it going? How do you continue to level up? And like in the case of here and now, you've got a veteran team that for the most part, you're going to have to turn over next year.
Yeah.
And having to do that while coaching a team in the present, how do you make this all happen? How do you continue to level up as a program?
Yeah, I think last year, going to the third NCAA tournament in 4 years and winning a game, I think really put us on a great plane for just national attention, national respect, in recruiting, just in players' eyes, and just in the basketball world. So, and then obviously joining the Mountain West is a huge step, for our whole school and our basketball program. So there's a lot of momentum, I think that we have, and then we have a lot ahead of us this year still to play for. So. I think our future is brighter than ever right now. Even when I talked to you a few years ago with the interest that our program's getting from potential recruits to the conference in the future we're going to, all the national TV games that we're going to get. This again, I thought we were just scratching the surface kind of a few years ago. We're definitely on the verge, of hopefully even blowing this bigger, than what we even talked about, before in here.
Well, Bryce, here's to another revenge victory coming up Saturday against Cal Baptist. Purple out coming up on Saturday night.
Well, let me throw one quick question in about that because you're right. You're absolutely right. The Utah Valley game, you guys brought the heat, you brought the smoke, you got the revenge. The first meeting with Cal Baptist, do they cause significant issues, or was that more of a you guys problem that night?
They came at us. They were more physical than us. They hit us first. They presented some problems with their physicality, and that's something that we have to be way more physical on Saturday.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. Bryce, good luck. We'll talk to you again next week.
Bryce.
Thanks for coming down, but we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bryce Drew, the head coach of GCU Lopes basketball, joining us in studio as part of Newsmakers Week 2025 on Bickley and Murata Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
The Bryce Drew Show, Presented by Global Credit Union. Proud to be GCU's official financial partner and the only place to get your official Lopes debit card. Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
The Cactus League is underway.
Out making some noise for the D-backs as that is swung on and grounded inside the third base line. Into the corner it goes. Newman scores. Herrera right behind him. And Perdomo brings in two on a two-run double.
Spring training coverage presented by Estrella Jalisco and Window Depot. The home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey, GCU fans. Did you know that Dignity Health is your official healthcare partner? That means we can help you get back in the game. Whether you're a student, an elite athlete, or a weekend warrior, we're the ones you can count on every time when it comes to your everyday health. Make sure you keep Dignity Health on your roster, regardless of the season. Find a provider or learn more at dignityhealth.org/GCU. Go Lopes. Hello, human kindness.
America, we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. By honoring your sacred vocation of counseling, you impact your family, your friends, and your community. At Grand Canyon University, our Masters in Counseling online degree programs help equip you with the skills to promote wellness and help transform the lives of individuals and families. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Hey, son, what you doing?
Looking around for jobs, offices, 9 to 5. I don't want anything boring.
You know, Brian's son is in the Phoenix Police Academy. Pretty sure he's not bored.
I never thought of that.
Check out joinphxpd.com and take a look.
Over 80 specialty details like detective and canine handler. What else? Dignitary protection, 911 operator? They have aviation and dive team jobs?
Rise to serve. Find more today at joinphxpd.com. Protect and serve with the elite.
Sponsored by the City of Phoenix.
Hi, this is Duke Brennan, starting center for Grand Canyon University. GCU is proud to partner with CopperPoint Insurance Companies on behalf of our shared values of compassion, collaboration, and excellence. For nearly 100 years, CopperPoint has been serving our community with unmatched insurance expertise and a commitment to doing what's right. Together with GCU, they support students in discovering their purpose. Each year, CopperPoint and their dedicated employees make a difference through volunteerism, generous contributions, and corporate matching. CopperPoint Insurance Companies, where service meets heart. Join us in making a positive impact.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Something amazing is happening when power outages strike. Teams are powering through them. That's because CDW Solutions architects are building more resilient IT and electrical infrastructures with Schneider Electric. With EcoCare remote monitoring services and 24/7 support, your organization can do more than keep the lights on. Schneider Electric and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Schneider Electric.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. The Suns return to action tomorrow, playing 4 games in 6 days on the road. And tomorrow night, it's against San Antonio in Austin, Texas. You can hear all the action here on Arizona Sports 98.7 with tip-off at 7:30. Last night, number 5 Houston came into Tempe and beat ASU 80-65. Freshman Jaden Quaidance was back after missing 2 games with a sprained ankle, but it didn't matter. Alston Mason led the Sun Devils with 26. ASU is back on the floor Sunday at Kansas State, and you can hear that one here on Arizona Sports 98.7. And Cactus League games begin tomorrow. The Cubs play the Dodgers in Glendale, and the D-backs host the Rockies on Friday afternoon. This report is brought to you by Waste Connections of Arizona. Spring is in the air, and that means home improvement projects. Need a roll-off to haul that trash and debris away? WasteConnections.com/Phoenix.
Time to take a look at the Arizona Sports Poll Question. Brought to you by Sanderson Ford. The best play is at Sanderson Ford.
Today's Sanderson Ford Poll Question on the homepage of ArizonaSports.com, presented by Y-Refi. If the Cardinals can get only one of these defensive linemen / edge rushers, which would you prefer? Your choices: Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Myles Garrett. We kind of had this discussion earlier today.
We did. I would still go Myles Garrett because I think he's a superstar. I think Josh Sweat, the question you rose earlier would be apropos. How good is he in different settings? He clearly is excellent in that context of that defense. I'll take either Josh Sweat or Myles Garrett. Thank you very much.
For our purposes, we'll cast the vote for Myles Garrett.
Yeah, and the question doesn't say, factor in all they have to give up to get each one. Who would you rather have of these three?
The question is putting that on the listener, the viewer, the voter, if you will.
Oh.
Yeah.
To know everything. Myles Garrett, 66% of the votes. 29% for Josh Sweat. Milton Williams, 5% of the vote. That is today's Sanderson Ford Poll Question. You could vote on it now on the homepage of ArizonaSports.com, presented by Y-Refi.
Understanding KD and where he's at right now, I say this all the time. If your best player is your hardest worker, then you got something to work with. KD is your best player, and he's your hardest worker, but he is not the leader some of us might want him to be. But that's okay. That's splitting hairs because you got other guys in the locker room who can take that leadership role. So I'm not putting all that leadership on KD. Other guys can definitely take that role. Like you said, Chiney, he is your favorite hooper's favorite hooper. KD going to show up and play. He going to bring it. Through hell or hot water, you're going to get the best version of KD if he can come out there and play for you. So he's going to take care of that. I'm with KD on this one, man. We can't put all this one on him.
That's Udonis Haslem from NBA Today on ESPN on the Kevin Durant questions. Kevin Durant, one of the most talked about players in the league right now. And it always comes back to the leadership thing. And, the points are very valid there. Kevin Durant is the best player, hardest worker on the team, loves playing. He's fallen short on the leadership aspect, according to many people. It's impossible to pin where the Suns are right now solely on Kevin Durant. And I will say this, on the first day when you come back from vacation and people say, how was your vacation? And 99 times out of 100, the person's response is, well, it wasn't long enough.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of vacation from Suns basketball. And they weren't playing good basketball or winning basketball going into the break. It resumes tomorrow night. And I was one of those people. I needed a vacation from Suns basketball, quite honestly. I'm very curious to see what this looks like. Now that all the smoke is cleared, Kevin Durant went back to San Francisco, faced all the questions about Golden State, faced all the questions about being dangled in a trade. What does this look like for him? What does this look like for the rest of the team?
Yeah.
Is this at all salvageable?
Well,
you have to get to the top 10 to get into the dance, and they're number 11 right now. So it's not a big step to make, but is it possible?
Well, yeah, anything is possible, but it would take a dramatic improvement from a team that has shown a lot of weaknesses and a lot of flaws, and so this team still is missing. Well, I don't have to re-say. We know it. Yeah. We've been watching this. I don't know. I do believe that people are wondering, okay, KD, do you really believe that? Do you really want to stay in Phoenix? Why do you want to stay there with that team? And I think people will question, why wouldn't you have rather have been in Golden State? And I agree with you, Vinny. I'll bet you he looked at Golden State and said, they're not much better than we are. It's not going to be worth the pressure that I'm going to feel, because if I go there, it's going to be all eyes on me. And all that kind of stuff. I've got a lot of questions about that, about what makes him want to see this thing out, knowing what he knows and seeing what he's seen, particularly if there's issues with this coach, like there was the previous coach. And I'm not saying KD issues, team-wide issues.
Yeah.
So, I'm very curious to see what we're going to get from those two guys in particular, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, because missing the playoffs would be quite a lack of accomplishment.
Yeah, making it into the play-in would be embarrassing. Missing the play-in would
be devastating.
Egg on face territory.
And I'm also wondering, has the front office and everyone in charge made their decision on what this all is? Is there any, how far up the ladder of anything is possible do they have to do to finish this season to make them reconsider and say, okay, maybe we do give this one more shot next year?
I would think you'd have to win a playoff series. Is what
I would think. At this point, that's the bare minimum, I think.
That's the bare minimum. That's what I was thinking. Even is that enough getting to the second round? Because all that's doing is doing what you did in the past. And then
we played a soundbite yesterday from Kendrick Perkins of ESPN where he was kind of ranking what he called the disasters of the league. And he had the Suns as the second biggest disaster in the league, behind only the Philadelphia 76ers. And look, they had a big three basically in place too, with Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey. And the third part of that big three has been the most reliable. Tyrese Maxey is their best player right now.
Yeah.
Paul George is in the crosshairs of 76ers fans. They're 12 games under 500 at the break. They're 20 and 32.
They're 20 and 34.
34, sorry. That's how badly things have gone for Philadelphia this year. Paul George, not an all-star, takes a vacation with his wife during the all-star break. A lot of photos go online that they're posting. Some saucy photos, if you will. They went to St. Bart's, beautiful tropical, location. Sixers fans are losing their mind. Over this.
It's a bad look.
It is.
It's a bad city to have a bad look. Also,
that is the worst city to have a bad look.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say with a straight face that Paul George, who's had a difficult season, didn't deserve to spend time with his wife on vacation.
Right.
But read the room.
That's it.
Read the city a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe he hasn't been there long enough. And we went through this here in Phoenix. I remember, was it John Skelton when he was the quarterback? There were some John Skelton vacation photos that came out after a disappointing season, and Cardinals fans lost their mind. And I'm like, come on, the guy's got a life. It's John Skelton.
Why don't I have any recollection of that?
No,
I'll take your word for it.
But yeah, Paul George, maybe keep those in your own private camera roll. Maybe not flaunt it to the butthurt fans of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
And once again, that is a thing that basketball players have to be cognizant of, because of the perception of this current generation that they won't play through anything, that they want to determine how many games they play, that these optics do matter. Showing that you care does matter. As we discussed earlier, that's part of the reason why that NHL exhibition hit as hard as it did. That these guys care enough to drop gloves and throw punches before an exhibition? What is this we're watching? But again, I think it put in sharp relief exactly what the NBA struggles with in terms of perception. It's the question. PK Subban, he said it great. In a rant, he said the question that needs to be asked of NBA players is, what do you play for? What do you play basketball for? Is it just the money? What is driving you in your sport?
Yeah.
And to be fair, though, the NHL was the first league to start changing their all-star games, because they were having like 14 to 13 games where no one was playing defense at all. And then they went to like 3-on-3 and all these like weird things before they came up with this good idea.
This is a good idea. You're right. They went through a lot of bad ideas. But to your point, Saturday night, I haven't seen anybody go that hard in an exhibition since Ivan Drago killed Apollo Creed, babe.
Oh, boy.
If he dies, he dies. Coming up, some final thoughts on this Wednesday. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings, Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons.
You want to sign somebody in free agency on the cheap, on the down low, not very expensive? Fine. You can use depth there, and you can use veteran guys there to help. But this is only going to work next year if Marvin Harrison Jr. is elite. And if Marvin Harrison Jr. isn't elite after 2 years in the league, there are going to be some real question marks about this draft, about this general manager, about his ability to build this team. Not that it all falls on one guy.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons 2 till 6 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here. You've got no shortages of options if you're hungry in the valley. Let me tell you about Sonic and that wonderful menu. If you've never been, it's a very diverse menu. It's something for everybody kind of menu. Great lineup of burgers at Sonic. They roll out one masterpiece after another. You know how much I love the garlic butter bacon cheeseburger. It is incredible. They've also got a great lineup of smasher burgers. Highly recommend you check those out. Great side items. The tots and the onion rings, people rave about them. The drink menu is legendary for having hundreds of thousands of different combinations of slushes and sodas and cold brews. There's also great value on the Sonic menu. In fact, the Fun 99 menu has been expanded to include the Junior Deluxe Cheeseburger, French Toast Sticks, and small floats for just $1.99. Same goes for the Southwest and Bacon Ranch Queso Wraps. Just $1.99. Great value at Sonic. You know where to go when your stomach starts calling. Live free. Eat Sonic.
My friends that own small businesses are all drowning in tax paperwork this winter. So I tell them to let TaxFile take care of their taxes and just focus on their customers. That's TaxFile with a Y, F-Y-L-E. TaxFile connects small business owners with licensed accountants who sweat the details. TaxFile's customers swear they saved them days of busy work. They say TaxFile was more responsive too. Go to taxfyle.com/radio and get their best offer. TaxFile.com/radio.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Lose weight easier and faster with Red Mountain Weight Loss. Discover the power of semaglutide and tirzepatide, the breakthrough GLP-1 medications that are transforming lives. You lose up to 15 pounds a month without feeling hungry or deprived. And for a limited time only, save $100 on any GLP program and get our lowest prices of the year. Don't wait. Lose up to 15 pounds by this time next month only at Red Mountain Weight Loss. Go to redmountainweightloss.com.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business. Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it, and will beat any print quote. Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs. No problem. I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens. Totally. I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing. I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
This President's Day, if you're shopping for a car, truck, SUV, or crossover, certified, pre-owned, or even electric, you owe it to yourself to check out your Valley Chevy dealers. Drive yours away this President's Day. Live life bigger in a new Blazer, or the award-winning Equinox, or the roomy and dependable Trax, where versatility meets agility. Don't miss out on the chance to drive yours away this President's Day. See your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley and Murata. Song of the Day. Brought to you by Sonic. Live free, eat Sonic. Off the Grid. Brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. If you've been hurt in an accident, call Sweet James at 800-500-5200 or sweetjames.com.
A couple of off-the-grid items that I thought were pretty interesting. I don't know if you saw this article in USA Today by Brent Schrotenboer about Deion Sanders, again, changing the way things are done among college football coaches.
Oh, okay.
For the second straight year, you know how many recruiting trips Deion Sanders has made?
0.
0.0. Says, I'm not doing that. He has a $200,000 annual budget for him to use private air travel for recruiting. Didn't use a penny of it. Yet he's Deion Sanders. Look. If it's working for Deion, it's working for Deion. I'm very curious to see what Colorado football looks like next year without Travis Hunter, without Shedeur Sanders, who were kind of the fuel of that program the last 2 years. But I don't... He's like the one coach that could get away with a stance like that, don't you think?
Yeah, because I think that the people who want to play for Deion Sanders don't need to be convinced to play for Deion Sanders.
Now, it also opens up... We know negative recruiting is still a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Heck, it came up in our conversation with Kenny Dillingham. That is an easy area to attack if you're going to negative recruit against Deion in Colorado.
He doesn't care enough to come see you.
He doesn't even care. He doesn't even want to meet your parents.
Oh, yeah. Well, then the kid goes, I don't blame him.
You can't pick your parents.
Yeah, right. So, listen, I think Deion Sanders just, I think he'll never struggle recruiting, and I think he knows it, and I think he's probably the only guy who could get away with that stance.
Yeah. We'll see how it works for him.
Good. Yeah, listen, good for him. Nice work if you can avoid it.
Yeah, I mean, it gives him way more time to do his 2B talk show.
Right.
One of the things that came out from a peripheral standpoint from the Super Bowl, and there was video of it, and there's a reason there was video of it. Pat Mahomes Sr., the father of Patrick Mahomes, getting into a verbal altercation with former Major League pitcher John Rocker at Bourbon Street. People are like, what the? I didn't have Patrick Mahomes' dad and John Rocker getting into it on my bingo card. Why are all these people walking around with bingo cards, by the way?
Yeah,
First of all.
How about it? It was all scripted.
It was all scripted, as it turns out. According to TMZ, Mahomes' father told a court last week that the fight was a staged promotion for an April boxing match against Rocker at Barstool's Rough and Rowdy. The contract Patrick Mahomes Sr. showed the court was signed on January 17th. There was questions because Patrick Mahomes is on probation for a third DWI, and that might have violated the terms in being at Bourbon Street, so it was all staged. But Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he's hard to criticize. I'm talking about the Chiefs quarterback.
Okay.
The people around him
That is a
continue
messy
to be
family.
absolutely embarrassing.
How about it? His dad, his brother.
He has a $500 million contract, and his dad needs $85,000 to fight John Rocker. Really?
Yeah, that's, first of all, if you saw John Rocker in the video, John Rocker is yoked. These two guys fighting, this is not a fair fight.
No. Patrick Mahomes is Pat Mahomes Sr., I should say, is pretty slight of build at this point of his life.
And there are people who say Dave Portnoy, El Presidente, he signed Patrick Mahomes Sr. because Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback, had been very critical of him. So as a troll, he went and signed his dad to a contract. I don't know what's real. I know this much. I ain't watching that fight.
Yeah, you will.
No, I will not. Rough and rowdy.
I said the same thing about Tyson against Jake Paul. I'm roped into the whole thing.
At least that had Tyson. There's no way. There's two Jake Pauls in this.
There's no way that fight could be worse than Tyson versus Jake Paul. I'm just saying from a boxing standpoint.
I hear you.
My biggest takeaway from day 2 of Newsmakers Week, there's a lot of coaches in town to be excited about.
Yeah.
Kenny Dillingham, Bryce Drew, Pa-Modou Kah, who joined us.
That was
the
a cool
new
guy, huh?
Phoenix
Very cool
Rising
dude.
FC coach joined us early on with Bobby Dulle. That guy, yeah, that's an impressive dude.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody. And you know what? There are still a few coaches who are willing to come in live and sit with us.
Yes.
Not many, but a few.
It's a shrinking number. Thanks also to Nicki Ren for joining us as well. We're back tomorrow. Wolf and Luke are up next. Have a great day, everybody.
You can't use the old excuse about not having enough storage because we know you've got the cloud. Download the Arizona Sports app and keep it on your home screen for breaking sports news, all the Arizona sports shows and podcasts, plus listen to the Suns, D-backs, ASU athletics, and more on your phone. The Arizona Sports app is presented by Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning.
Hey, sports fanatics and card collectors, Adam